I'm a regular over at the Trial Watch Clips channel, where you go for clips of your favorite judges and your favorite attorneys and your favorite trials and your favorite cases.
The 14th District Court, Washington County, State of Michigan is now in session. All those having business before the court draw near, the Honorable Judge Judge Simpson presiding.
And good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Court does call the case of Arbor Manor versus Patrick Brooks.
Good morning, Eli Heights P 84976 for the plaintiff.
Morning.
Mr. Brooks?
Good morning.
I do see him. Mr. Brooks?
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Yes, Your Honor. Rent to retain is $2,250, court cost of $178 for a total of $2,428.
All right, Mr. Brooks, how are you intending on getting that paid, sir?
Well, I was actually hoping to be compensated in some way because my apartment has been down and under construction since February, maybe the 26th. The plumbing is messed up. When you flush the toilet, everything goes straight to the basement floor.
What I'm going to need from you then, given that, is I'm going to need a written answer that is going to need to be filed by June 5th, 2025.
Okay.
I will reserve the issue of escrow from this date. And then I will adjourn this out to June 6th, 2025 at 1 p.m. And that is an in-person hearing. And sir, you have to make sure that when you provide the written answer to the court, you also provide a copy of the written answer to plaintiff's attorney.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, thank you. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
Court does call the case of Arbor Manor versus Jamaica Jones.
Good morning again, Eli Heights P 84976 for the plaintiff.
Jamaica Jones, they are not present. You have second service. If you raise your right hand to be sworn, you can take a default. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. Rent to retain $651, court cost of $178 for a total of $829. And I request a writ date of June 9th.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default for possession. Redemption amount is in the amount requested with the writ issue in 10 days. Forrest Knoll versus Tequila Smith.
This is her.
Oh, good morning again, Eli Heights P 84976 for the plaintiff.
You get her, she's a phone. You're right. All right. All right, what is the claim in this case?
Rent to retain $1,249.38, court cost of $178, total of $1,427.38.
Ms. Smith, how are you intending on getting that paid?
Have half the money, but I need something. So now that I'm going to court, they're saying they're going to move my apartment now. I've been living with mold for over a year. Water leaks. I can't take a shower at home. Every time I take a shower, it leaks down into my kitchen. They haven't did nothing in my apartment in over 2 years. Before I got new management, my apartment was neglected. Me and my kids, our health is starting to mess with our health. My son has asthma, and it's keep messing with his health. It's starting to irritate our eyes and everything. My doctor said I don't even supposed to be living in this apartment because the mold is so bad.
All right, what I will do is there are repair issues here. I will reserve the issue of escrow in this matter. You are to file a written answer with the court, provide a copy to plaintiff's counsel of what your complaints are. You're to do that by June 5th, 2025.
So do I come to the courts and do that?
Well, you can come to the court. You have to file that answer with the court.
Okay,
So if you wanna
because
do
I
it
have
here-
pictures. I have pictures and everything.
I understand,
So,
ma'am,
yeah.
but you're gonna need to file this answer by June 5th as to what your complaints are. All right?
Okay, thank
As
you.
to all of your repair issues and all of your other complaints that you have. As I've indicated, escrow is reserved. And I will adjourn this matter to June 6, 2025, 1 PM. That is an in-person hearing.
Okay, and just come into what courthouse to do it?
That is the courthouse by the sheriff's department.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Forrest Knoll versus SE Cleveland.
Morning again, Eli Hides, PA 4976 for the plaintiff.
SE Cleveland, no response. You have second service. You've been sworn. You may proceed.
Thanks, Your Honor. Rent to retain, $740. Court cost $178, total $918. Requested writ date of June 9th.
You said 9:15?
918, sorry.
All right. Judgment to the plaintiff. That is by default for possession. Redemption amount is in the amount requested with a writ issue in 10 days. All right. That's it for you, sir.
Yep, you have a good weekend.
All right, you do the same. Scio Farms versus Jonathan Barrera.
Good morning, Your Honor. Sydney Fontanella, P 86316 for the plaintiff.
Hi. All right. Mr. Barrera
Yes, sir.
is not, oh, you got him?
Yeah.
Okay. What is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Your Honor, I'm showing that there's rent due of $2,201.44, court costs of $190 for a total of $2,391.44 currently due.
All right. Mr. Barrera, how are you intending on getting that paid, sir?
Certified check, sir. I can pay that today.
Okay, you said you think you can pay it today?
Yep.
Okay. I will indicate in the file that you're going to pay the balance today. I will adjourn this out 1 week to June 6, 2025 at 1 PM. If you don't pay it, that's an in-person hearing. So if you don't pay it, you need to appear in court. If you pay it today, just make sure that your account is at zero. You don't need to appear and it's likely they'll dismiss the matter. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. And Your Honor, what time was that at again?
That was at 1 PM.
Thank you.
Scio Farms versus Caitlin Bell.
Sydney Fontanella for the plaintiff.
Ms. Bell,
Morning.
good morning. Okay, what is plaintiff's claim?
Your Honor, I'm showing that there's rent due of $1,702.92, court costs of $190 for a total of $1,892.92.
And Ms. Bell, how are you intending on getting that paid?
Well, I was actually thinking of selling the home as I do own the home to the park, if they are willing to do that.
Okay. Ms. Fontanella, you know anything about that?
This is the first time I'm hearing anything. My manager, Patty, is on. So, Miss Bell, I would encourage you to reach out to Patty in the management office. I would expect that they'll need to do a walkthrough and determine, a price if they are interested in the home. I can't guarantee that they will be, though.
That's fine.
So what I will do is I'll adjourn this out. Hopefully we can get something accomplished. June 6, 2025, 1 PM. Contact them right away. And Ms. Bell, that is an in-person hearing. All right?
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Scio Farms versus Raphael Bell.
Sydney Fontanella for the plaintiff. And Your Honor, I would move to dismiss this case without prejudice. The tenant has paid in full.
All right. This case is dismissed without prejudice. Court calls the case of Scio Farms versus Logan Edgar.
Sydney Fontanella for the plaintiff.
Said he's here.
Yes.
Logan Edgar, excuse me.
Present, sorry.
Okay, no, it's okay. All right, what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Your Honor, I'm showing that there's rent due of $2,057.62, court costs of $190 for a total of $2,247.62 currently due.
Sir, how are you intending on getting that paid?
By means of a family loan, I'll have that paid within the next 10 days.
In 10 days? Are you gonna be able to pay it by next week?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna adjourn it out to June 6, 2025, 1 p.m. And I would indicate, sir, that if you get it paid before then and make sure your balance is clear, it's likely that they would dismiss it. But you're clicking over it to another month, so you want to make sure your balance is clear.
Yep, very good.
Okay, thank you. That's an in-person hearing, by the way, if I didn't say so.
All right, thanks, sir.
Thank you. Sile Farms versus Robert Hayes.
Sydney Fontanelle for the plaintiff.
Said he's here.
He was here. He's not there.
Robert Hayes. You said he was here
Yeah, he absolutely was here.
and just dropped, or?
I don't know when.
Oh, pardon?
The rest of his body is hers.
It's, what I'm gonna do is, let me pass that one, see if they sign back in.
Sounds good.
Sile Farms versus Jennifer Knight.
Sydney Fontanelle for the plaintiff, Your Honor.
Jennifer Knight. You have her? I do not have her. Jennifer Knight, not here. I don't believe I've sworn you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. I am requesting a default judgment in light of the second mailing. There is current rent due of $2,197.04, court costs of $190 for a total of $2,387.04. And I would request writ to issue in 10 days, which I believe puts us at June 9th.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default, where possession redemption amount is in the amount requested with the writ to issue in 10 days. Sile Farms versus Elise Liu.
Sydney Fontanelle for plaintiff.
Yes, I am here, Your Honor.
Okay, there's Miss Liu. All right. And what is plaintiff's claim?
Your Honor, I'm showing that there's rent due of $1,932.92, court costs of $190 for a total of $2,122.92.
All right, Miss Liu, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I get paid in 2 weeks. I can have that paid, so next Friday, and then the Friday after I get paid. I can have that paid, so then 2 Fridays from now.
Okay, you lost me there. All right, so you get a check on the 6th and then also on the 13th. Is that what you're indicating?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so and that's the next time that you can make a payment, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. I can make a payment on next Friday of half of and then, sorry, so 1 week from now I can pay half. The second week from now I can pay all of it.
Okay, will that include your June rent?
I believe so, Your Honor. Yes.
Okay, all right. So give me a dollar figure as to how much you think you can have next week.
$1,000.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna indicate that you're gonna pay $1,000. You're gonna pay that by the 6th. If you can pay it by the 5th, that would be great, but by the 6th, that's fine, because I don't think we'll clear this balance. How much is your monthly rent?
I believe it's somewhere around $870 a month.
Okay. So we're still gonna be up around the same balance if you only pay 1,000 when June clicks in. So here's what I'll do. I'll adjourn this out to June 6, 2025, 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing, ma'am. Okay, so you need to get that paid or as much as you can get paid, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Silo Farms versus Michael Moore.
Sydney Fontanella for plaintiff.
Pardon? Michael Moore. No response. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I am requesting a default judgment. I am showing that there is rent due of $1,857.28, court costs of $190 for a total of $2,047.28, and I would request writ to issue in 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested with the writ to issue in 10 days. Silo Farms versus Gregory Pennington.
Sydney Fontanella for the plaintiff.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello, Mr. Pennington. All right, what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Your Honor, I'm showing that there's rent due of $1,611.73, court costs of $190 for a total of $1,801.73.
And sir, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I'm going to, today after work, I get out of work. I'm going to give them 800 today, and then next Friday I'm going to have the rest.
So you're going to pay 100 today?
No, 800.
800, I'm sorry. All right,
You're all right.
800 today. And then by next Friday, you intend to have the balance of that amount paid? What about
Yeah.
your June rent?
Yeah, it's going to take me like a week or so because I got a little behind because I had car repairs and
Okay.
I'm just trying to catch up. Like I said, I'm trying to work all the overtime I can where I try to volunteer as much as I can at work, so I can get much of it.
I got you.
Yeah.
So you think you're going to have about 800 today and then about 1,000 by next week?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right. So I'm going to mark the file that you're going to do that. But since you're not paying it before the end of the next month, this case will continue on because we got to figure out what to do with June rent. What's your monthly rent?
I do is $12.94, I do believe. That's not including my water bill or nothing.
Got it. Okay. So if you get that all paid, we're likely going to be around that same figure, but we'll figure it out where we go. But you're going to make those payments. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get it sooner because I'm like I said, it's been a couple months I've been behind, but I'm trying to get it progress more, get closer and closer to my due date, instead of so far behind like this.
I got you.
I
Okay,
appreciate
so
it.
I'll adjourn this out to June 6, 2025, 1 p.m. Sir, that is an in-person hearing. All right, so get that paid and then we'll figure out where we go from there, all right?
So if I pay it up by then and then I still gotta come in person?
Well, yes, because here's the problem. If you get everything paid by the 30th, by today, they'd certainly, I think, dismiss and almost would have to if you get everything paid. However, you're going to click over into June. And so
Right.
June rent won't be paid and they can claim June rent at that time.
It's just hard. It's hard for me to get off work. That's why you said in person.
All right, you can file a request. I can't guarantee to be granted for a Zoom hearing. I'll take it into consideration because we don't want you to miss work because then that causes problems with you paying your rent.
I appreciate that, Your Honor.
All right. Just make sure you get the form and fill that out for the Zoom request. All right.
Where do I get the form from?
Go ahead. If you put your email in the chat, we'll send it to you by email.
Okay, put it where I go down in the chat part and then put my email and then you guys respond back to me.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
My staff is willing to do that for you because they're nice. I'm not. So. All right.
I appreciate it, Your Honor.
All right. You take care.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Silo Farms versus Brendan. Is it Petros?
Sydney Fontanella for the plaintiff, and Your Honor, I am requesting that this case be dismissed without prejudice. He is paid in full.
All right. This case is dismissed without prejudice. Court does call the case of Silo Farms versus, is it Jarek Turgeon?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. All right. And what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Your Honor, I'm showing that there's rent due of $1,962.92, court costs of $190, for a total of $2,152.92 due.
And sir, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I'm currently working with Veteran Affairs. They said that they should be able to cover April through July rent, and that I should be receiving a check from them next week.
Okay, who's this you're working with?
Veterans Affairs. through the
Okay, so
Veterans
you're a
Relief
vet?
Fund. Yes, sir.
You're a vet, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right, what branch?
Army.
Army? Okay, I'm not gonna hold that against you. I'm a Navy kid, but that's all right. All right. Okay, so you're working with Veterans Affairs and they said they're gonna pay your back rent. Do you know if they're gonna pay anything forward on it or anything?
Yes, sir. They said they'll pay June and July as well.
Okay, so they're trying to work all of that out for you. And you think that check is gonna arrive next week?
Yes, sir. That's what I was told.
Okay, so here's what I'll do. I'll adjourn this out June 6, 2025 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. I'm sure if they get the check and June's paid, they'll dismiss the case out and everything, so you won't have to appear. But if the is the check coming to you or to your landlord?
They
Should
said
go to
that they'll bring it, they should be getting it to me and then I'll drop it off.
And then you'll have to pay it off. Okay, so if everything's paid, including your June rent, you don't have to appear next week. But if it's not paid, it'll be an in-person hearing and you'll need to appear.
Okay.
All right? All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Have a good day, Your Honor.
You do the same. Scio Farms versus Melanie Wackenhut. And I'm sorry, and Michael Wackenhut. Sorry, counsel.
Sydney Fontanello for the plaintiff, and Your Honor, I am requesting that this case be dismissed without prejudice. The tenants have paid.
Case is dismissed. That's without prejudice. Court does call the case of Scio Farms versus Derek Wanshan, excuse me, and also Elizabeth.
Sydney Fontanello for the plaintiff.
And
okay, I am here, Elizabeth Watson.
Okay. All right. And claim.
Your Honor, I'm showing that there's rent due of $2,323.22, court costs of $230, for a total of $2,553.22.
All right. And ma'am, how are you intending on getting that paid?
My husband and we did reach out to Hawk. They're still working to help us with that. They're still in the process right now.
Okay.
My husband is working full time. And we weren't sure. We can pay $800 right now.
Okay, you can?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you this so we can, I'm just working with rough math here. What's your monthly rent?
Right now it's $870, but when it gets to June, it's going to be $915.
Okay. So $915, when I adjourn this out, $915 is going to click onto this number, which is then going to put me at 34. Okay. So the reason I wanted to know is if Hawk pays the maximum, they'll pay, but I don't know that they'll pay the maximum. You've got to have this balance under 3,000. So when I adjourn it out, if nothing is paid, you'll be over the 3,000. That's why I was asking those questions. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So you can pay 800 today.
Yes.
Okay. Why don't you get that paid? Pay 800, pay that to the landlord. I know they'll say they won't take it, but now they will. Because Patty's here. She's gonna she'll take your money. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So pay the 800. Then I will adjourn this out to June 6, 2025. 1 PM. That's an in-person hearing, okay, ma'am? So,
Okay.
and then we'll try to figure out where you're going. Hopefully we'll have some news from Hawk also.
Alrighty.
Okay? All right, thank you. You have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Sile Farms versus Danielle Williams and Daniel Blethyn.
Sydney Fontanella for the plaintiff.
Either party here. Williams, Blethyn. Blethyn. There, Blethyn. No, that's right. Neither party's here. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I am requesting a default judgment. There is current rent due of $2,298.91. Court costs of $230 for a total of $2,528.91. And I would request writ to issue in 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff. That is by default. Possession, redemption amount, any amount requested with a writ issued in 10 days. Valley Ranch versus Kimberly Irizarry, maybe how it's pronounced, and really Hassan Akutrani.
Sydney Fontanella for the plaintiff, Your Honor.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Okay, I butchered your name. Tell me
Don't
how I
even worry
pronounce
about it. It's typical. It always happens.
it. All right. Okay. All right. What is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Your Honor, I'm showing that there's rent due of $1,859.14. Court costs of $182 for a total of $2,041.14.
2040. And I'm sorry, what was the sentence count?
14.
14. All right. And sir?
Yes, sir.
How are you guys intending on getting that paid?
So I get paid this Monday. I will be able to pay about roughly $1,400, and by the end of Friday of next week, I'll be able to pay the rest.
Okay. So you hang on. You can pay $1,400 by the 2nd, right?
Yeah. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And how much is your monthly rent?
$1,575.
Okay. So you're going to go down about 100. So, and then you think you can have the 21 paid, which is roughly the balance. You can have that paid by the 6th.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll have all of it paid by then.
Okay,
then,
but can you? But you said it's going to be late on that day that it's going to be paid.
Yes, Your Honor. And also, my fiance is also getting her refund, her student refund, and so am I. Because we're attending school this summer, so that will also help towards next month's rent too. So we will be fine on that.
Okay. Well, where are you students?
At Washtenaw.
Okay. Did they say when those are going to come in?
June 6th, roughly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
literally
No,
on
that's
the
okay.
day.
Just don't hold your breath.
Yeah.
I have to deal with this every semester. It may come in, then it may not, but I get you in terms of what your plans are. So what I will do is I'll adjourn this to June 6, 2025 at 1 PM. That's an in-person hearing. Get the $1,400 paid, and then we'll figure out where we're going to go with the rest of this. All right.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. You do the same, sir.
Have a good day.
You
God
too.
bless.
Thank you. Sile Farm versus Robert Hayes.
Sydney Fontanella for the plaintiff, Your Honor.
Did not come back. All right. I'll let you proceed and take it to fall.
Thank you, Your Honor. I am showing that there's rent due of $1,088.36. Court costs of $190 for a total of $1,278.36. And I would request writ to issue in 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff. That is by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested with a writ issue in 10 days. I think that's all I have for you, Sydney.
Yes, you'll see me this afternoon.
Patty, because she's becoming a fixture here. So, all right. All right. Sydney, take care of yourself. Great
I'll see
seeing
you. Yeah, I'll see you this afternoon, Your Honor. You're stuck with me all day.
Okay, fantastic. All right, Patty, take care. Always a pleasure.
I'll be at 2 o'clock as well.
Okay, take care. All righty. 14A stands in recess.
The court meeting district court is now back in session. The Honorable Judge J. Simpson presiding.
And good morning. John Cass versus Joshua Byers.
Yeah, good morning. Tom Pietrowski on behalf of plaintiff.
Mr. Byers.
Mr. Byers?
Hello, Your Honor. Good morning.
All right, this is the first hearing. Good morning. What is plaintiff's claim in this case, including cost?
Including cost, Your Honor, of $1,438. That's 1438.
Okay. And Mr. Byers, how are you intending on getting that paid?
Currently, I am trying to look for work, doing what I can to get this cost worked out, honestly.
Okay, between now and next week, is there anything that you could pay, sir?
I'm sure I can come up with something, but right now I'm not making too much. So I'm trying to figure out how to take care of my immediate expenses.
Yeah, I'm out of town next week. I have no objection to court putting it, if it's available, to the 13th, allowing Mr. Byers a little additional time as well.
All right. And your June rent will click in, so.
Yes, sir.
So the 13th, Mr. Pietrowski.
All right. So I'll adjourn this to June 13th, 2025, 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing, sir.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Kevin, is it Osentowski versus Thomas Warren?
Good morning, Your Honor. Lori Brewis on behalf of Evan Osentowski, the plaintiff.
Thomas Warren?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I'll need a camera on. But while you do that, what is plaintiff's claim, including cost in this matter?
There are no costs in this matter, Your Honor. This is a forcible entry, was made after, or possession was held by force after peaceful entry. And he was requested to leave. There is no rent due in this particular matter. And at this time, Mr. Warren has moved out of the home.
Is that correct, Mr. Warren?
Actually, I've only partially moved. By the way, I tried turning on my camera. For some reason, it won't turn on. I don't know why. Anyhow, but I've only moved a few things out of the premises, and I have a temporary storage place that I'm putting items in right now. The notice for this meeting, though, I only got this like a day and a half ago.
When do you have a time period at which you'll be out?
Right now, I'm trying to get the rest of my things out of there, as soon as possible. I had rented a truck and moved a few things over the last week and a half, but I had to return the truck. They had it reserved for somebody else, so I'm in the process of reserving another one.
All right. Well, what I'm going to do is you're entitled to an adjournment. I'll adjourn this to June 6, 2025, 1 p.m. That is an in-person hearing. All right.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ridgewood Apartments versus Amy Wisner. And
I had it as a
Good morning, Your Honor. Mark Spessler appearing on behalf of plaintiff.
That's how it's in
Amy Weisner.
all right. And what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Judge, just as a non-payment of rent action, currently rent to retain is $3,408. Court cost $224.50. Total would be $3,632.50. $3,632.50. this is possession and money claimed, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. All right. And ma'am, how are you intending on getting this paid?
I'm working with the MDHHS and the SER programs. I was on the phone with them yesterday and they're trying to escalate it so that I can get some support.
Okay, so you applied through DHHS. How many people are in your unit?
3, my children and I.
All right. So just so that you know, the most that they're gonna pay is $620, I think. For 3 people in the unit, so you gotta keep that in mind. Have you contacted Hawk at all? I'm not sure what
No,
their funding is right now.
Yeah, they gave me that information yesterday when I was on the phone with them.
Okay, so have you applied?
Nope, I'll do it today. It was about 4:45 when we wrapped up our call yesterday, so it was too late.
Okay, so you'll need to do that, try to arrange something along those lines. Is there anything that you can pay between now and next week?
Well, I actually have an interview with in about 2 hours today, so possibly.
Okay, all right. Well, what I'll do is I'll give you a 1-week adjournment, June 6, 2025. That's at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. Ma'am, there is a form in your, since you've applied for SER, there's a form in your packet. You can either do that or use the QR code or come down to the court. It's called a rental assistance form. You'll need to fill that out and have that to the court by next Wednesday.
Okay, rental assistance form by Wednesday.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank
Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Thanks, Judge. Have a great day.
You do the same.
Thank you.
West Ridge Mobile Home Park versus Cindy Alvarado Lopez.
Good morning. Good morning, Your Honor. Jarrett Levine for the plaintiff.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. Okay, ma'am, I see you there. Well, I hear you there. You'll need to turn on your camera. Counsel, what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Claim is for non-payment of rent. We're showing $893.98 for rent to retain, plus costs of $183 for a total present balance of $1,076.98.
All right. And ma'am,
Yes.
how are you intending on getting that paid?
I tried to pay for the end of the June.
I'm sorry?
Yes, I tried to pay for the end of the on June.
Okay, I'm not in June yet, but you say you want to pay. Are you trying to tell me you want to pay everything by the end of June?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. You're gonna have to try to work that out with the landlord. I'm not sure whether or not they'll wait that long. What I will do is I will adjourn this out June 6, 2025 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing, ma'am. Is there anything that you could pay between now and next week?
Yes, I can pay, but not all the
Okay, how much do you think you can pay?
like 600.
600?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to indicate you need to pay 600. You need to pay that by the 5th.
Okay.
So that we can have record of it. Okay?
Okay.
And then we'll see. What's your monthly rent?
585, I think so. But I pay the mobile home too separately.
Okay. So this might cover at least the June rent, so we don't go up any higher, but we'll see. All right, June 6, 2025, 1 p.m. All right?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Court calls the case, West Ridge Mobile Home Park versus William Kopp.
Morning again, Jarrett Levine for the plaintiff.
You say no? Okay. William Kopp, I do not have him second hearing or second service. If you raise your right hand to be sworn, proceed. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, go ahead, sir.
Thank you. This is a non-payment of rent case. The plaintiff is requesting a possession judgment entered by default based on the defendant's failure to appear. Rent to retain is $769.42 plus cost of $183 for a total possession judgment of $952.42, which would have to be paid in full by June 9th to retain possession.
All right, judgment to the plaintiff, that's by default for possession. Redemption amount in the amount requested with the writ issue in 10 days. West Ridge Mobile Home Park versus Jessica Holloway.
Jarrett Levine.
I'm here for Jessica Holloway.
And you are who?
Billy Hubbard.
Do you reside in the premises?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, what's the claim in this case?
Oh, for Jessica Holloway, we're showing rent of $569.35 plus cost of $183, total of $752.35. Presently doing all.
All right, sir, where is Miss Holloway?
She's at home with the children right now. Her phone's off. That's my fiance. We've lived together for the last 15 years at the same address.
Like he's an occupant, but not a.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
not a
been
named
listed
tenant.
on other cases. That's fine. So how are you intending on getting this paid?
I have the money right now.
Okay.
For this month, my only issue was I wanted to come to the court date because my hot water tank basically started leaking and flooded the back room. So I didn't know I was going to have that expense. So I had to spend this month's rent on that to get my new hot water tank and piping put in. So then now I have next month's rent on me right now, but I can pay that what I owe right now, but I'd still be late about a week and a half to 2 weeks late of next month's rent. So I wanted to
All
make
right.
sure that
Sir,
was okay.
how much can you pay right now?
All of it.
All of the $752.32?
Yes, man. Or yes, sir.
All right. So what I'm going to suggest that you do is you get that paid. If you can get it paid before the end of today, then get that paid. This case will be dismissed, and then try to work something out with the landlord as to how you're going to get June paid. Otherwise,
I
what's
can
going
have
to happen
June's
is
rent
June
too.
will be in.
Right.
All right. So I'm going to indicate that you're going to pay that today. I will adjourn it out to June 6, 2025 at 1 p.m. If it doesn't get paid, then you'll need to appear in person on that date.
Okay, June 6th at what time?
1 p.m.
1 p.m. And that's in person?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Court calls the case of West Ridge Mobile Home Park versus Carmen Terraza and Javier Ruda. Terraza, Ruda, no response. You may proceed, counsel.
Thank you. Based on the defendant's failure to appear, we're requesting a possession judgment for a rent to retain of $496.97 plus cost of $236 for a total redemptive amount of $732.97. Would allow for writ to issue after 10 days unless the defendant pays the total amount.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested with the writ issue in 10 days. West Ridge Mobile Home Park versus Philip Traver.
I'm here.
Okay. What is plaintiff's claim, counsel?
For Mr. Traver, we're showing rent due, let's see, $896.93 for rent to retain, cost of $183, total redemptive amount of $1,079.93. Presently doing on.
All right. And sir, how are you intending on getting that paid?
Well, I've got a pretty big check. I just finished my pay week runs Friday through Thursday. So, I just finished a big week and I can get, I'm not 100% sure what that's gonna come out to be, obviously. My problem was the week I was gonna pay rent, I was pulled from the site that I was working at and missed out on that overtime. But, I can have stuff going forward as far as next week. And I mean, I'm trying to do everything that I can, including I used your QR code up there, and I'm talking with places about rental assistance, but I'm a single male. You know, it's not easy for single males to get that. But
Okay, have you contacted anybody regarding any type of assistance?
I just left earlier today, the community economic development credit or counselors. They gave me something for Catholic Charities. And then I also, while I was sitting here, because I couldn't find a link to get into this Zoom meeting, so I came right to the court building. So that's where I'm at right now. And while I was sitting here waiting to come in for this, I even sent quick emails to, I guess it's called Hawk. And then another one.
Let me ask you this, sir. How much do you think you can pay prior to next week?
I think doing the quick math with taxes and everything, maybe around 700.
Okay, so that, you think you can pay 700 or
That'll
thereabouts?
be Thursday.
All right. So I'll put, you're gonna pay 700 by June 5th, 2025. I'll set this hearing for June 6th, 2025 at 1 p.m. That is an in-person hearing. And by June 5th, what's your monthly rent, sir?
I think it's the 580 plus the 480 or the 43 for the water all goes together in this place.
So about 600 there, give or take?
I think it's like 623.
Okay. All right. So we'll see, get the 700 paid and then show up next week and we'll see where we go from here.
All right. Like I said, I'm trying to do everything. I even did your QR code and I was doing that while we were waiting. So I just don't know how do I submit that? I did it on my phone with a app called Zoho.
Actually, if you're at the courthouse, you can fill out that form and you can submit it to the court now if you've applied for assistance.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Westridge Mobile Home Park versus Shaquille Wells.
Oh, Your Honor, the Wells case is dismissed.
Court will dismiss that case. That's without prejudice on plaintiff's motion.
I'll send in orders.
All right.
Have a nice rest of your day.
Good seeing you, sir.
Judge Simpson. Good to see
Take
you.
care. Peninsula Place versus Abby Cullen.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jillian Engen for plaintiff.
Abby Cullen, there's no response. If you raise your right hand, I'll let you proceed. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is a case for non-payment of rent. Rent to retain possession is $1,550.34. Court costs are $230 for a total of $1,780.38, and that's 80. Your Honor, was there personal service in this matter?
Attached.
Okay, then Your Honor, this is going to be for possession only. Plaintiff requests a writ to issue after 10 days, which I have is after June 9th, 2025.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that's by default for possession, redemption amount in the amount requested with the writ to issue in 10 days. Hold on one moment, counsel.
Thank you.
And why isn't that stamped?
Oh.
Court does, I got another one. Court does call the case of Carly Kenny versus Peninsula Place versus Carla Kenny.
Jillian Engen for plaintiff.
Hello.
Hello.
Carly? Hello.
Yes.
All right. What is plaintiff's claim?
Your Honor, I have a balance including court costs of $2,579.10.
Okay. How are you intending on getting this paid?
I have all of it, Your Honor. I'm able to pay it today. on top of that, I got paid last night, so I can take care of more than half of June's rent on top of that currently.
All right, okay.
Yep.
You got a plan. So here's what we're gonna do. You've got the amount that council's indicated, right?
Yes,
Okay, so you say you can pay that today?
yes,
All right, pay that balance today. If you get it paid by today, then the case is gonna be dismissed.
okay,
Okay? I will, however, adjourn it over to June 6, 2025 at 1 p.m. But you won't need to appear if you have everything for May paid up.
cool.
Okay, prior to that date. So,
All right.
okay?
On top of that, another important bit of information, I looked and the portal for me to pay rent is actually blocked right now. I'm assuming you guys are gonna undo that in the system so I'm able to pay my rent?
Well, it's not my,
or
these different portals work differently. I don't know, Miss.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a
then-
note from my client, that the portal is blocked. I'm hoping that it can be opened up today. I haven't spoken with him. I don't know how it works.
Okay, so here's, well, let me ask you, does Peninsula Place take payments at the office if it comes down to that?
I was about to say, is there any other form of payment that we can go through with?
I'm sorry. I wish I knew right off the top of my head.
Okay.
Let
So
me
here's what
give
we'll
you
do.
my email address
Right.
in the chat, and then why don't you email me and I will, that way I can, I'm just gonna put it in the chat. It's gonna go to everyone, but.
All right, Carly, if worse comes to worse, if you get that, I'm just gonna say this on the record this way, because I think that you're trying to pay it. I don't know this locking in the portal thing, whatever.
Yeah.
If for whatever reason you can't get it paid or council can't work it out for you to get paid, then what I want you to do is I want you to get that amount in cash, bring it down to the court and put it in our escrow account. And
Okay.
then you still, if that amount's in my escrow account and I'll give you till Monday, because I'm not gonna have you stressed trying to rush today.
Yeah.
Get it down here by Monday. If it comes around to the 6th, I'm gonna dismiss this case because
Okay.
you paid or you tried to pay it, okay?
That's fine with us, Your Honor.
All right, so just see if that can work out, see if you can get it paid to them. If you can't, then pay it to the court and then I'll take care of it from there, okay?
All right. And then just in case I do have to do that again, what was the exact amount for that again?
I have a current balance, $2,579.10.
All right, I was just making sure that
Definitely
was correct, because that's, it varies from the document that I have right now, but it's fine.
Right, it's gonna vary from the complaint.
Yeah.
And it's also gonna vary because of the court costs included.
Yep, exactly.
All right. Okay? All right, take care.
Thank you so
Try to
much.
get that worked out. If you can't, then get it down here on Monday. You have a great weekend.
You too.
All right, thank you. Peninsula Place versus, is it Yaya Kissy? Or Sissy?
Jillian Engen for plaintiff.
Hello, good morning. I'm Yai
Good
Fantasy.
morning. Okay, so I got it near right, your name?
Yes, close.
Okay, hey, then I'm having a good day. All
Yeah.
right. All right, what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Your Honor, I have a balance including court costs of $908.18.
All right. You said $8, 08?
908.18. Yes, sir.
All right. And how are you intending on getting that paid?
So after the, court was made, I paid 300. I'm planning on paying 200 today. And then within the next 2 weeks, I'm starting my second job Tuesday. So once I get my paychecks for the next 2 weeks, I'll be able to pay the remainder.
All right. So you said you paid 300, right?
That's reflected on the ledger, Your Honor.
Okay, so that's already taken off.
Yes.
Okay,
And then you say you can pay 200 by when?
today.
Okay, so you're gonna pay 200 today.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And how much is your monthly rent?
689.
689?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So and it sounds to me like you've got a plan. It's just not going to occur to get this case dismissed by the end of the month. So get that 200 paid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I'll adjourn this out to June 6, 2025, 1 p.m. And then we'll see if we can work this out. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. You have a great weekend.
You too. And sorry, Your Honor, is this in person?
Yes, it's in person.
Okay. Okay.
I should have said that. Thank you for
No, you're welcome.
reminding me.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Mhm.
You take care. Court does call the case of Peninsula Place versus Amy, is it Diagne?
Jillian Engen for plaintiff.
No response. She is.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes.
Yes, this is Fantasy. She's my roommate. She was having issues with her computer. Can we give her 1 minute to just use my device?
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. I'll pass that.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me know, young lady.
Okay.
Peninsula Place versus Crystal O'Connor.
Jillian Engen for plaintiff.
I do see. Crystal O'Connor, you'll need to unmute. Oh, there she moved.
Hi, Judge.
How you doing? All right,
I'm
she's here.
good.
All right. All right. What is plaintiff's claim in this case?
I have a balance including court costs of $2,472.88.
All right. And Crystal, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I have DHS. I'm gonna when I get off of work today, I'm going to go to the office and get a ledger, what they need, and send that in. And then I also have Washington County Community Health trying to help me as well, but my appointment with them is not until June.
Is when?
And not until June.
Okay. What day in June did you say?
The 7th.
The 7th. Okay. So you got community mental health.
And then I also get paid on the 4th every 2 weeks. So I was going to put my whole check towards whatever was left.
Okay. So let's do this. You're going to do DHS, and then you got folks at community mental health trying to help you.
Yes.
And then you're going to get a check on the 4th. How much do you think you can pay on the 4th?
They cut my hours at work, so my check's been $500. I was thinking $400.
Okay. Here's what I'll do. I'll put 400. I understand what you're indicating to me. And you'll pay that by June 4th. And then we'll have to figure out something. Do you know how much your monthly rent is?
$863.
$863.
Yeah,
okay.
I believe.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to first of all adjourn this to June 6, 2025 at 1 p.m. Okay.
You said June the 6th?
Yes, next Friday.
Okay, next Friday. Okay.
Yes, that's at 1 That's at 1 p.m.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the other thing I need you to do. Do you know how to use a QR code?
Yes.
Okay. So you can either do that. There's a QR code on your screen. You'll have to swipe across because you're on a phone. Or if you look in the packet that was delivered to you regarding this court case, there's a form called a rental assistance form. You'll need to fill that out and get it down to the court by Wednesday.
Okay, so which, cause I got like 3 of them. I got 3 court dates in the mail. I mean, I got
Right.
2 in the mail
But-
and 1 on my door.
Right. Looking, hold on. Just look in any of those packets. There's a form in there called a rental assistance form. You'll just need to fill that out, especially if you applied through DHS. Once they give you what's called a tracking number, you'll need to fill that out and get that to the court by Wednesday.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
I think I got my tracking number already. 'Cause
Okay.
I put in the SER like a week ago.
Okay. So what you need to do is make sure that everything is filled out on that form and that that tracking number is on that form. Okay?
Okay, I can do that. And you said by Wednesday?
Yes, by Wednesday.
Okay.
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 Okay, then we'll see you next week. Okay?
Okay. See you next week.
All right. You take care.
Is
Bye-bye.
that in person?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Okay? All right.
Okay, that's great.
Take care.
Okay, you too.
Squirrelwood Apartments versus Regina Agnew.
Jillian Engen for plaintiff.
Good morning.
Oh, there she is. Good morning. All right. And how much is plaintiff's claim in this case?
I have a balance including court costs of $884.
All right. And Ms. Agnew, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I'm paying that Monday, but the office will not open. Doesn't open till Tuesday where the manager is in there. So I'm going to drop it in the Dropbox. I spoke with him yesterday already. So he said, that would be fine because on the portal, I can't do it because it says error and he don't know as to why.
Got it.
But
So,
I
you
have the
won't-
funds.
Hang
I
on.
will. Okay.
But you won't have the money until Monday, right?
Right, Monday when I'll do it'll be in clearing my account on Monday. So Monday is when I'm
It'll clear it. It'll clear it except that you have June rent.
yes. And I spoke with him about that and he said the 13th is fine.
I got you. So here's what we'll do. I'm going to indicate you're going to pay the $844. You're going to pay that by June 2nd.
That's 884, correct? Is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
And then I'm going to adjourn your case out to next Friday, June 6, 2025 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing. And then we'll see what we'll work out for June. Let counsel talk to her client, make sure the 13th is good.
Okay.
Move
Well,
ahead, okay?
Your Honor. So I would have to, when I pay that on Monday, we'll drop it. I would have to appear on Friday. Friday, I had death in my family, so it's a funeral. The funeral is Friday. So
All right. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do.
Okay.
Contact the attorney's office.
Okay.
And see if something can be worked out prior to that time. Okay.
Your Honor.
Okay.
If Ms. Johnson
Yeah.
Agnew has a funeral on Friday, I think I think we would be okay to adjourn to the next week.
All right. Very good.
Okay.
All right. So, ma'am, instead of the 6th, you need to appear on the 13th.
Okay.
And that time is at 12 noon.
Okay. And now I have a
Okay.
question. So I'm appearing on the 13th, and that's the date that I'm paying the June.
I got
as
you.
well.
I
Okay.
got you. And if you can get that paid before noon, this might all work out where it gets dismissed.
Okay, great. Thank you, Your
Okay.
Honor. And attorney.
Thank you. You have a great weekend and sorry about your loss.
Yes, thank you. You have a great weekend as well. Bye-bye.
All right. The Haven versus Whitney Albright.
Jillian Engen for plaintiff.
Whitney Albright, good morning.
Okay, there you are. Oh, good
Hi.
morning. All right. And what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
Your Honor, I have a balance including court costs of $2,633.55.
All right. And ma'am, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I get paid on Wednesday and can make that payment. I just had to present my thesis last month for my master's, so unfortunately I had to take off 2 weeks and got a little behind.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm sorry.
So you can pay that by the 4th, you're telling me.
Yes, sir.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll just indicate that balance by the 4th. But then what's going to happen is your June rent's going to click in. So when are you intending on getting that paid?
I'm hoping, I just don't want to commit to it. I'm hoping that I will have that as well on Wednesday. I just don't know the exact amount. I worked a
You
lot
don't
of
know. I
overtime.
gotcha.
Yeah, so I don't
Okay.
want to say yes and then it be a little short, but I definitely, and I'm at work now and I'm working all kinds of overtime to get caught up.
Okay. All right. So get this balance, this 2633.55, get that paid.
Okay.
Then I'll adjourn this out to the 6th, 2025
I do
at
have a
1 p.m.
question. I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
I am scheduled to work on the 6th. I would really hate to give up hours. Is that something that I can get changed to a different day or is that kind of set?
Well, it's kind of sad.
Okay,
but
that's fine. I mean, that's fine. I just hate giving up time.
okay. Well, do this. If you submit a Zoom form, I'll strongly consider letting you at least appear via Zoom. So
Yeah, I would
miss
very much
time.
appreciate that because yes.
All right.
Thank you.
And then, so get that paid and then I'll make it June 6th at 1.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. What's your master's in?
Mental health nurse practitioner. I just graduated 2 weeks ago.
Well, congratulations on
Yeah,
that.
so this situation sucks, but I'm also so proud of myself. I can't even be that mad.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I said the situation being a little behind on rent really stinks, but I'm so proud of myself. So I can't even be that
Well,
mad.
and you should be, because
Thank you.
the thing is, this is just in reality, this is just money and we'll get that solved.
You're right.
But your education, nobody can take away from you,
I know,
right?
I'm so proud of myself. Thank you.
All right, you should be.
Thank
All
you.
right, congratulations again to you. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, take care. The Haven versus John, is it Cristiano? Cristiano, okay.
Jillian Engen for plaintiff, Your Honor. I have a dismissal for this on my desk. And so I'm going to be submitting that to the court.
Case is dismissed, that's without prejudice. And then The Haven versus David Green.
Jillian Engen for plaintiff.
David Green. Do not have him present. I don't think she's been sworn in.
You did swear.
Oh, I did swear in. All right, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I just want to double check one thing briefly. Unless Your Honor knows if he was personally served. I'm pulling it up
It
right
was
now.
serviced by
Posted.
attachment.
Okay.
Yes.
Your Honor, plaintiff, this is a case for non-payment of rent to retain possession is $250.48. Court costs are $175 for a total of $2,425.48. Plaintiff is requesting a default judgment for possession only with a writ to issue after 10 days.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that's by default for possession, redemption amount, any amount requested with writ issue in 10 days. Yeah. Recalling Peninsula Place versus Amy Diagne.
Jillian
she's there.
Engen for plaintiff.
Yes, hello.
Hello. Okay, I'll need you to turn on a camera at some point. Oh, she almost did. Okay. All right.
Okay.
There she is. Okay. And what is plaintiff's claim in this case?
I have a balance including court costs of $1,847.54.
All right. Ma'am, how are you intending on getting that paid?
So today I can pay 200 today. And then I can try to pay that on the 10th.
The 10th? Okay. So we'll see if you can work something out with your landlord. You pay 200 today, and then how much is your monthly rent?
689.
689. Okay, so that's gonna click in. So let me do this. I'll adjourn this out to June 6, 2025 at 1 p.m. Okay, that's an in-person hearing. And so you pay the $200 to him today, and then come down here on the 6th, and we'll see what we can work out. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And I think that's it for you, Miss Engine, is it not?
I think that's it. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Okay. Take care.
You too.
James English versus Shanna Snyder.
It says to start your video. There you go.
Hello. Hello. What's your name, sir?
James English.
All right. This is a termination case. And do I have Shanna Snyder present? And I do not have a response. And just checking some things in this case. Is there a lease in this case?
No.
No.
Well, she's not on the lease, Tom. She's not on the lease. But the lease is against.
I'm sorry?
She's not on the lease.
Okay, but hang on a second.
There is a lease attached.
Yes, there is. But okay, so you guys are gonna have to explain this to me. All right, so Mr. English, you have the lease?
Yes.
With the landlord? Is that what happened?
And me and my wife are on the lease. Me and my wife is on the lease.
All right, hold on, I have somebody that appeared. Galaxy. Ma'am, what is your name? I can't hear you. I still can't hear you. Let me ask you this, ma'am. Are you Miss Snyder? If you are, nod your head. Okay. And so here's my problem. I can't hear you, ma'am. I don't know. Did you sign on with audio? She did. I still can't hear you. All right, ma'am, do me a favor. Let me just, this is my last case in this block, but why don't you, ma'am, Miss Snyder, if you're understanding me, I need you to sign off and sign back in, and let's see if that will work. Okay? All right. So to the Englishes, I'm going to pass the matter a moment, wait for her to sign back in. Okay? Yeah, it can be.
Let's see if we can get this out. So you're gonna explain this to him, or you're just gonna sit there? What? Yeah. You really didn't understand it. You just not explaining it. Well, do you want to speak for him? No, I can't. I shouldn't. It's between you and Sheena. Answer his questions, but explain it to him. Yeah. He didn't understand because it said zero due. Right. When I say something, just kind of repeat it. I said the lease is attached, but she's not on it. You didn't repeat it. You put it on private because he's reading it right now. Huh? Did you understand them? Yes, and you do. Yeah. If he's gonna ask her questions too.
All right,
This is your house.
right.
Sleeps all day. That's us to be quiet.
Well, maybe she should start paying. No.
No, that gives her the option to stay and he's gonna go for it.
Okay,
Are you kidding me? We should see on the same leave.
all right.
Not turning it. We're gone. Brings of her pets, so your pets can stay for a little while, but she's got to go. The stress is killing me. She thinks they're a creep and a stalker. Why would she want to live here?
Right.
That's what she keeps telling. She thinks, you know. I guess we are his last case, huh?
Okay. Court recalls case of English versus Snyder. Ms. Snyder, can you hear us now? Getting no response.
Yeah, she is unmuted.
She's unmuted, but I.
Oh, figures last case of the day.
Yes. Well, now she's just, oh, there she is.
And
Okay,
it's
Ms.
Friday.
Snyder. I can't hear. There's
Could she
something
just-
wrong with the volume on your device.
Could she
Ms.
just
Snyder.
come in the house and?
Ma'am, please. My courtroom, I'll run it. Ms. Snyder? Okay, not if you can hear me. Okay. You're entitled to a 1-week adjournment on this case in any event. So while I'd hear everything, I'm gonna have to set it for a new date.
Excuse me, sir. Could she just come in the house? She's right in my driveway.
Ma'am, I'm gonna end up adjourning it out anyway.
Oh, you are?
Yes. If she
Oh.
asks for it to be adjourned to talk to an attorney or something along those lines, there would not be a judgment issued today. So if you'd let me continue, then I'll
Okay.
do this in the easiest way so that we
Alright.
can try to get this resolved. Thank you.
I'm very sorry. I just didn't know if you wanted her to be able to say something today. But I'm very sorry.
Miss Snyder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjourn this to June 6th, 2025 at 1 p.m. That's an in-person hearing, so I'll need all of the parties here. Ms. Snyder, if you understand me, nod your head. Okay, so everybody can come down and then we can try to resolve this. This is a termination case where they're seeking to terminate your tenancy. If you want to get an attorney, then you can contact Legal Aid of South Central Michigan, okay? All right, I'm seeing you nodding, so you're understanding everything I'm saying. Okay, so we will see everybody next week, June 6th, 1 p.m. Thank you.
Have a nice weekend.
That's it for that block. Court stands in recess. You may be seated. Court does call the cases of Sycamore Meadows versus, well, let's do it this way. Jimerson, LaFleur, Hatch, Phelps, McCoy, Rawls, Story, and Brown. You guys should stay right there because we're gonna do. All right.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jill Bauer. I'll fill in here for everyone.
All right, and that's on behalf of everybody but Mr. LaFleur, but I don't have him. Is he here? Oh, you can come on out because you're not represented by legal services. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, come on up. Well, no, Miss Jemerson, that's going to be taken care of. There.
Yeah, Ms. Jemerson, we're going to enter an appearance today.
Right. So you don't want to be represented by.
I do. I wasn't just. It's been going on. Well, I have an application already, so I figured I didn't.
Let's do it this way. Why don't you talk to them, have them represent you, because there were conversations in there. Your case is actually very simple in a lot of ways, so you can make the decision. I think we can have it resolved. On all of these cases, there's been an in-chambers conference. I think we are close to being able to resolve all of them. There's certain work that needs to be done. That can be done within the next 2 weeks. And it requires, in most of the cases, some communication from legal services on behalf of the tenants to the landlord, and then they're there. So what I'm going to do with all of those cases, I will adjourn them to the 13th at 12 noon. In-person hearings. Okay? Okay. So talk to legal services. They'll explain that. All right.
You really want me here on a Friday the 13th?
That is my lucky day. So no, I'm kidding. Yes, ma'am. Your name?
Jessica Brown. Sorry, Your Honor. I have a student graduating next Friday, and then another student moving up to go to high school on the 13th. So my schedule.
So what?
June is hard.
Your students?
They're my person. I say students because I also am a teacher, but they're also my children.
Oh, they're your children?
Yeah, so my son is graduating this upcoming Friday, and then my daughter's going to high school. Sorry, I'm emotional because this is a lot, but on the 13th, and they have a half day.
So hold it. You're coming before me with all of this good news for your family, and you want me to make some kind of exception
I just might be a little late
because you want to be at your child's graduation. Miss Brown, let me tell you something. If you show up here and are not at your child's graduation, I will lock you up. All right? I'm gonna let you know.
I believe you.
You don't need to be here with you.
Thank you.
You worked hard, so those babies are doing what they're doing, right?
They are.
So that's where you need to be.
And Ms. Brown, legal services is officially representing you, so we can handle your case whether you're here or not.
Okay. Thank you so much.
So you just enjoy, and Mom, I'll just tell you congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank
You
you. so
take
much.
care, and you just have a great time, and tell your kids that Judge Simpson says congratulations.
I definitely will. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
You take care.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. I don't even know why that was a debate.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bishop Pickering versus Andrew Rich. Thank you, guys. And again, good meeting you two.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fanter on behalf of Bishop Pickering.
And your name, sir?
Andrew Rich.
Oh, good afternoon.
Your Honor, Mr. Rich pays his rent with his disability check, which he receives on about the 25th or 26th.
Got it.
Which until last week I wasn't aware of because he had, for the most part, done a pretty good job of paying
forward
ahead of time. So now I'm aware. What I explained, and what he did was he got his money order and he mailed it to Lansing. I told him from now on, drop it off at the owner's house at 206 North Huron, so it'll be on the account more quickly. And we haven't received that yet. So what I would like to do, this is my one case, I'm going to ask for an adjournment for 1 week. When we get that money, I'm going to dismiss this case.
Got it.
And I've got Mr. Rich's phone number, so I'll be able to communicate with him going forward.
Mr. Rich, is all of that correct?
Yes, so it's correct.
That's correct.
I just get out of dialysis, so I'm kind of acting down.
Pardon?
I just got out of dialysis. I'm
Okay.
like, I'll be feeling funny when I
Gotta
get out of here.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll adjourn this to June 6th at 1 o'clock, okay? But you may not need to be here if your check gets there, okay?
Okay, 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
But hopefully you won't be able to, you won't have to come.
I
I'll talk
know.
to you Monday or Tuesday.
I mailed it. I just, like I was telling him, I do the same thing every month. I go get my disability check cash, and I go pay my telephone bill. Then I get on a bus 6, which takes me out to Xfinity to pay my TV bill. But out there, it's a mailbox there. So I usually take my money order and just stick it in the mailbox and go across the street to Xfinity, and then I paid all my bills. I'll be broke, but at least all my bills
But everything's paid, right?
So that's how I've been doing it, and I'll get my money on the 25th and 26th every month. Some like three times a year. It come on the 27th, but I've been doing it that way. So he will get the money.
Okay. Everybody believes you. We're just doing this to make sure it gets there.
Yeah, I can't dismiss it till I got it, but I'm sure we'll get it early next week.
You'll get it. You'll get it. I mailed it.
All right. Okay, you take care, sir. Have a great weekend.
Okay, and thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Rich.
God bless.
Thanks.
Bishop Pickering versus Holly Hollis.
Good morning, Your Honor. David
You know
Fanter.
what, sir? Mr. Rich? I just want to tell you, thank you. I'm just going to say this to you. I always like somebody, and maybe it's not a good thing to say this day and age, but somebody who's a gentleman, that as she was approaching, you stood there, you held that door to make sure she got through. I just want to tell you, I appreciate it. I like seeing it.
Your Honor, does that make up for the sweatshirt he's wearing?
Yeah, I was going to say something about the Ole Miss thing, but that's all right. I'll let you go on. All right. Your name, ma'am?
Holly Hollis.
All right, where are we on this?
Your Honor, I have a consent judgment. The amount of rent that's owed is $839, court costs of $175 for a total of $1,014. Ms. Hollis and I have agreed that amount has to be paid by June 20th, or she could be evicted, and I advised her of her rights under the court rule.
And this does not include June?
That does not include June.
All right. Ma'am, is all of that correct?
Yes.
Do you have any questions regarding this judgment?
No.
All right. And I would advise you that you have 3 business days to think about this judgment. If you believe that there's some legal reason, some confusion on your part, or some right you did not assert, you'd have to file a motion with the court within those 3 business days. You understand that?
Yes.
Doesn't mean I grant it, but you'd have that time to file. Yes. All right. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Thanks. Court calls the case of Sandy McFiddish versus Stephanie Sims.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fanter on behalf of the plaintiff.
Stephanie Sims, that I.
Thank you.
Your Honor, what we've got in this case, Ms. Sims gave me $400, which is what we actually said on the record last week at our first hearing.
Yes.
And then I gave her a payment plan. I gave her conditional dismissal where she's going to pay on the 15th of every month. She's going to pay her monthly rent plus $300. This is yours. He's already got yours. She was looking at the one I've got here, but that's not hers.
She goes, I didn't sign that. No, go ahead.
So she's going to pay on the 15th of the month. She's going to pay her monthly rent plus $300, with the $300 being applied to the balance. And she understands that if she misses, then I can reinstate the case and take a judgment and evict her, and she doesn't want that.
Ma'am, is all of that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. You have any questions about this conditional order dismissal?
No, sir, I can't come back here and see you no more.
Why?
No, sir, because I don't want to keep coming here to see you. I got to get it together.
You don't want to see me? You're hurting my feelings.
No, for other people.
You know, well, I like.
Well, we never have a bad time when I come. I always enjoy being here with you, even when you have certain people that, because that one lady, when I was in with you the first time, I still think about her. The one you asked her, was she an attorney, or did she have her bar and stuff like that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Even David, he was like, oh, we're gonna.
Well, actually, when I said what I said to Miss Brown about going to her kid's graduation, I loved your reaction.
I wanted to cry. I have a soft spot for children because I want the children really bad and I can't have them. So when it comes to children, I'm that person that's, I'm the auntie.
And mom needed to be there, right? Yeah.
I
knew-
love you for
knew
that
you
too, Judge.
understood that.
Thank you.
All right, you have 3 business days to think about this. If you believe that there's some legal reason, some confusion on your part, or some right you didn't assert, you'd have to file a motion with the court within that time frame. You understand that? Okay, I've signed off on this conditional dismissal. And, Ms. Sims, have a great weekend.
All right, everybody have a wonderful weekend.
Court does call the case of Sandy McFiddish versus Donovan Alexander.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Fantair on behalf of the plaintiff.
Your name, sir? Donovan Alexander.
Yeah, Mr. Alexander gave me $500 today on that. So we took a judgment for the balance, which is $1,010, court costs of $175 for a total of $1,185. He said he needed 2 weeks. I specifically said when. He said Wednesday, the 11th. He signed, I signed, and I advised him of his rights.
All of that correct, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Do you have any questions regarding anything on this judgment?
no, sir.
All right. And I will sign off on this judgment and the box is checked, but you have 3 business days to think about this. There's some legal reasons, some confusion on your part, or some right you didn't assert. You'd have to file a motion with the court within that time frame. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Understanding also, I may not grant it, but you have that time to file.
Okay.
Okay, I've signed the consent judgment. Thank you guys for working it out.
Good luck.
11, you get those. Let's call the case, 103 South Huron LLC versus Aaron Emanuel.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. David Fantair on behalf of the plaintiff.
Your name, sir? Aaron Emanuel.
Your Honor, this is one where he's already been approved by SOS. So we put in front of you a conditional dismissal. They're going to be paying the entire amount within the next 30 days. And I explained to him that the numbers do not include June. So they're going to pay through May, and he's going to be responsible for paying his own June rent.
That's your understanding, sir?
Understood.
All right. Do you have any questions regarding anything on this conditional order? No, sir. All right. And like I've said to everybody else, you have 3 business days to think about this. If there's some legal right you didn't assert, some confusion on your part, or some legal right, some confusion on your part, or something that you're mistaken about regarding this conditional order dismissal, you'd have to file a motion within 3 business days. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Doesn't mean I grant it, but you have that right. Okay, thank you, sir. I've signed off on this. If you need a copy, you can get one up front.
Okay. Thank
You have a
you.
great weekend. Thanks.
That's all for me today, Your Honor. Have a great weekend.
You do the same. All right. What do you say? That's the 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. We've got to play that and then I'll be right back out. We're to stand in recess.
The District Court for County of Washington, State of Michigan is now back in session. I'm Judge Jason.
You may be seated. Court does call the case of Beal Properties versus George Mashot.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Michael Burns, P87855 on behalf of plaintiff.
Your name, sir?
George Mouchet.
Okay. And where are we on this case?
Your Honor, parties have agreed to a consent judgment. I can place the terms on the record when the court's
Yes,
ready.
go ahead.
There's currently a total due and owing of $329.95. Parties agree that this amount will be paid on or before June 13th, 2025. MCR 4.20 and J was explained to Mr. Mouchet and he signed the consent judgment as well, Your Honor.
Sir, is that your understanding?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have any questions regarding this judgment?
No.
Okay, I will enter the consent judgment with the added provision that there'll be no order of eviction or writ without a hearing, given the numbers that are on. Okay?
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
Thank you.
DJM Land Company LLC versus Mitchell Kish.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. For the record, Stuart Collis on behalf of DJM Properties. Mitchell Kish.
All right. And where are we on this case?
Your Honor, we have a consent judgment in this matter. The rent is $6,300. Car costs $177.40 for a total of $6,477.40. That will be paid on or before June 9, which point of Rick can issue.
You said June 9th.
June 9, yeah, it's the 10 days, Your Honor. My understanding is Mr. Kish has already made a payment towards this amount. I don't know what it is at this moment, but it will obviously be applied to the balance of this 6,740, whatever it might be. And this does not include June rent.
Gotcha. Sir, is all of that correct?
That is correct.
Do you have any questions regarding anything contained on that judgment?
No.
All right. I will sign off on the judgment. Do you have it or?
Your clerk has it.
Oh. Okay, okay. Sir, I'm going to sign this. I would just advise you that you have 3 business days to think about this. If you believe that there's some legal reason, some confusion on your part, or some right you didn't assert, that you would have to file a motion with the court within those 3 business days. Doesn't mean that I'd grant it, but you'd have that opportunity to do so. You understand that, sir?
I understand.
All right, very good. Thank you. I've signed the judgment.
Thank you, Your Honor, for getting me out of here so I could get my daughter to Wayne State.
You get to what?
My daughter to orientation at Wayne State.
All right, at Wayne State. Good school.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Linden Park Apartments versus Bruce Bengree.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Norman Whitty appearing on behalf of the plaintiff, Linden Park Apartments.
Oh, no. She's here. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Sorry, Your Honor, we reached an agreement. Emily Brule for defendant, P88273.
All right. All right, what are we doing?
Your Honor, then please report the parties have agreed to a condition in this case. This is a kind of a health and safety condition, both for the defendant's benefit and the properties. So he's getting some assistance from a number of agencies so that he can move. The condition of dismissal is quite simple. Defendant shall vacate the premises and turn in keys by close of business on June 20th, 2025. It's been signed by both counsel on the approach.
All right. Is that a correct statement?
Yes, sir.
All right. Appreciate you guys working this out.
Well, we're glad to reach a resolution.
Yes.
I think everyone had Mr. Bengree's interests at heart. So.
This case is conditionally dismissed. Thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Have a great weekend. Court does call the case of Minion Properties versus KB Care, PLLC. And yeah, Alamacurian Purpurum, I think, and Manga. All right.
Good afternoon, Judge Simpson. Scott Munzel appearing on behalf of Minion Properties, and with me is Bill Minion. So,
are the other parties here? All right, go ahead.
Yeah. I have not had any communications from them in the last several weeks. So what I did, Judge, is it's a urgent care right down the street on Washington Avenue. They actually owe in the range of $43,000 in back rent. Mr. Minion has tried to work with them. He does not really want to evict them, but unfortunately, I guess we're going to need to use some leverage to get them to pay. We believe they've got the ability to pay, and they will. So I had prepared a consent judgment. I was hoping that they would have appeared and signed it and we'd submit that, but they did not. So I did prepare a judgment that would, give Minion the right to seek a writ of eviction in 10 days, and that asks for a money judgment in the total amount of $24,999.99,
Gotcha.
Which includes some of the amount that's due, and then the attorney's fees that are provided for under the lease, and then the costs of filing fee and service fees. So I guess what I would ask is if I could submit this. I've got one here for the court, or I could email it over. There's the one that I have in my hand. I added the other defendants' names down here since they're long, which I could fill out the second one, or whatever works for you.
That's fine. And why don't you raise your right hand? Sworn, do you solemnly swear or affirm the information and And testimony that you provided to the court is true to the best of your knowledge and information.
I do.
All right, very good. Let me see the judgment.
Thank you.
Okay, here's what I'll do it any way that you want. I would enter this by default.
Mm-hmm.
The redemption amount,
Mm-hmm.
although that's not filled out, well, the time period, and I give them the statutory 10 days, understanding what you want to do. I will tell you that as I've indicated, I would sign this. However, you had indicated that there's some 43,000 that's owed in rent.
Correct.
So actually, that figure can be your redemption amount.
It can be. Okay.
It can be. It's just the money judgment I can't enter for that amount.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm happy to redo that with the correct amount of money that is due, which I have.
All right. How much is due so that we get that on the record?
Okay. Today, the back rent is, whoops, I'm sorry. Total due is 43,416.49, but that includes the
attorney fees and costs.
Correct.
All right. So if you actually just do the math, fill that in, as long as I have that amount, I'll grant a judgment by default.
Okay.
For possession. Total redemption amount being $43,416.49 with a writ to issue June 9th. I will then also enter money judgment for the maximum that this court can, for a total amount of $24,999.99.
Okay.
So once he can have that back, and once I get that, I will sign off. Counsel.
Okay.
All right. Morville Road, 10489 LLC versus David Shaw.
Good afternoon, Judge Simpson, Scott Munzel, again appearing on behalf of Morville LLC. And this one's a land contract forfeiture action. Mr. Picken was here 2 weeks ago. The good news is he has cured the default, which was the unsanitary conditions that he had created at the property. So we're comfortable he's removed all of the illegal materials and the illegal trailer, et cetera, et cetera. So the good news is that he has, in fact, cured the actual default in the land contract. We still were allowed to collect attorney or seek reimbursement for attorney's fees under the land contract, plus, of course, costs and filing fees. My client, we tried to work very hard with Mr. Picken before we had to file this, and so we spent a fair amount of work and time and effort trying to get him to cooperate before having to file this. And so the attorney's fees are, a little bit higher than they otherwise would be, but the attorney's fees to date are $3,648, and we've got a filing fee of $130 and service fees of $150. So we would be asking the court to enter a judgment against Mr. Picken for those amounts in a total of $3,928. Again, I haven't talked to Mr. Picken. He hasn't communicated in the last couple of weeks. He's not here today.
So are you entering that solely as a money judgment, or are you entering that as a judgment pursuant or under forfeiture of the land contract? Because it's gonna matter.
Well, yeah. The basis for the fees is the land contract. Paragraph 18 of the land contract allows for that. So I think it probably needs to be based on that, But as I said, he has cured the default to my client's satisfaction. So he actually has cured the equitable portion, if you will, of the land contract
All right,
default.
so I'll enter judgment under the terms of the land contract. More or less than 50% of this paid.
Significantly less than 50% has been
Okay.
paid.
So I'll enter that judgment. He would have to cure that within 90 days. Or
Okay,
contract could be, the rate could issue and contract could be terminated.
okay, I get it. All right, so I will prepare that judgment and email it over.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay,
That's fine.
all right. Thank you, Judge Simpson.
Thank you.
Oh, I guess, let me, I can revise these numbers and then just give that to her.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, so what's that? Here.
And Town Center Place versus Viola High.
Judge Mark Wasbury.
Okay. Okay, and Miss Hines is not here. That's just. Okay, she contacted the clerk's office. She's not here in person. She indicated she had an injury and wanted to appear remotely, but she is not signed in. Counsel. She's not in our waiting room.
That is correct.
All right. All right. So what would you like to do, sir?
Judge, I would ask for a default judgment of possession.
All right, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Go ahead.
Judge, based on the books and records of my client, rent to retain possession is $863. Costs are $177.40 for a total of $1,040.40.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that is by default. For
Thank you, Judge.
possession, redemption amount, send the amount requested with a writ to issue in 10 days. And I'll sign that upon its presentation to the court.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. And at Lakeside versus Lori Ann Pedersen, that matters dismissed. On plaintiff's motion without. Good. All right, and that does it for that block.
Yes, sir.
Court was gonna step off, and if you get that from Mr. Manzel, get that back to us. You got it?
The date I wanted, I thought you should.
Okay, I'll do that. Yes, court stands in recess.
District Court for County of Washington, Michigan is now back in session. The Honorable Judge preside.
You may be seated. Court does call the case of Arbor Woods versus Angela Cater.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Sydney Fontanella, P86316 for the plaintiff.
Hello, Angela Cater. All right. And where are we on this case, folks?
Your Honor, my office received the escrow check from the court, and that was sent to my client. That is the only check that they have received at this time.
Okay. And do you have the amount of that?
Yes, the trust check was for $3,463. The current amount that's due right now, Your Honor, is $6,953.50 before we apply the $3,463. So if we apply the $3,463, that brings the balance down to $3,490.50, and that's what's due through May. That does not include any June rental charges.
$3,490. And what was the cents on that? I'm sorry, Counsel.
50 cents, Your Honor.
All right. I'm just looking here. Can you see I-
Like all of our escrow.
all of our escrow's out, but I want to make sure. It looks. Okay, the ones that were sent out on 5/16 are the ones they received.
That was the 3463 that they got.
Got it.
Yep.
And now the other ones were before then, so they should have gotten those. All right.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. So I have the $2,000 right now. I did not have a chance to make it home to my mail. I got a 401k check coming for $1,500, and that is the rest. I just got to get to the mail, cash that, and I can have that balance cleared.
Okay, so you have 2,000
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. I do believe at the last hearing, which was May 16th, which Ms. Dornbush from my office appeared at, Ms. Cater was ordered to pay the full $3,460.50 by today at noon. Otherwise, we would be able to proceed with the writ. I mean,
Correct.
even if she pays $2,000 today, we have June rental charges that pop in 2 days, and then she's going to be behind again in June.
Correct. And as of last hearing, I don't think she was the attorney. I let them know that June 6th, my June rent will be paid. So that the June rent, I'm not worried about. That's going to be paid on June 6th when I receive my payroll check. I just had to, because we discussed, I told you I had 2,000 and you told me I needed more. So I reached out to my 401k. And so that's where I'm at now. That's where I'm getting the remaining balance of the balance from. So June 6th, June rent will be covered.
Okay, I get June rent will be covered.
Yes.
I'm focused. You said you have 2,000 now.
I do.
When was the other?
It should be in the mail today. They issued it on Friday. And they told me that I should have received it yesterday, but I didn't get it yesterday. And I'm only assuming because Monday was the holiday. But the check was already submitted and issued. The only reason they couldn't direct deposit it was because my bank account wasn't on file for 7 days.
So what date are you saying the 1490 would be paid?
When I go home, I gotta check the mail. It can be paid by Monday.
Counsel, you guys submitted the writ, is that correct?
Yes, I do believe it was submitted back
Yeah, it's some time ago.
April. Yeah.
Yes. Here's what I'm going to do, and I'm not, because I'm going to end this, because I'm not going to be trying to deal with June rent.
Okay.
I'm just going to indicate that the writ may be executed. Well, maybe executed after June 2nd. The conditions are that you are to pay the $2,000 directly to the landlord today.
Okay.
You are to pay the $1,490.50 by June 2nd.
Okay.
Either of those payments are not made, the writ may be executed without the filing of a new writ on June 3rd. And I'm not going to have any further comments on it. If it's paid, it's paid. If it's not,
okay,
consequences are there. It's just
all
as
right.
simple as that.
All right.
All right.
That's it.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Northfield Estates versus Cheryl Cornett.
Sydney Fontanelle for the plaintiff, Your Honor.
I used to do that, push on the wrong side of that. I know. Your name?
Cheryl Cornett.
All right. And how much, where are we on this case? How much?
I have $475 today to put down. I'm on your order, right?
Hold on a second. How much is owing?
Your Honor, there's rent due of $1,294.32. Court costs of $217.80 for a total of $1,512.12.
Now you were saying, ma'am, you have what?
I have 475 today, right now, money order. Like I told you, I had COVID and so did my other half. We're both back working now. I had asked for the 3 weeks, but you just gave it the week. So I'm gonna go, I'm hoping to have another 500 by next Friday. And then I'm gonna go, through the churches to help you pay the balance, I'm hoping. She's gonna say I owe for June, which is true, but like, I'm not worried about June right now. I just wanna get this 1,500 paid.
All right, so here's what I'm gonna do, ma'am. And I'll explain why I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna find no tribal issue after a hearing. I'm gonna grant a judgment for possession for the entire amount of the 15,12,12. What you're indicating to me is that if you pay the 475 plus the 500, that you got basically $975 of that amount right now. And then you just don't know when the balance is going to be paid.
I'm hoping to get another 500, but to her by next Friday, but Tuesday night, they, in Brighton, they have a church that you go to at 7. So normally they pay like 400, but I'll have to call like Hawk or something to go through another church to help me.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the writ date on this for June 11th instead of the 9th. So I'm going to give an extra 48 hours or 2 days.
All right, thank you.
Get it done.
Thank you.
So you have to get all of that paid. So I take the 400 to them, 475 to them today.
Today, okay,
Get the 500 that you get that in there.
okay,
You're gonna have that balance, and I'm not including June rent in this.
Right.
That's why I'm gonna do the judgment now.
okay,
And then you'll have to, if you make that payment on the 6th, you're gonna have to the 11th to get that balance.
yeah, they're paid, okay.
That balance paid.
All right,
Got it?
thank you.
All right.
So just take this to the landlord.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I told her this morning that I had it, but I couldn't find my car keys. I'm caring for a 1.5-year-old now. So I had to borrow a car to get here now. So I
Okay.
can't find my keys, but I will get it to her today before 5.
Okay. Get
All right.
that to me.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. Court does call the case of Northville Crossing versus Faith Lynn Lefker.
Sydney Fontanelle for the plaintiff, Your Honor.
Hello, what's your name?
Faithful Lefker.
And we know that's Charlotte.
That is Charlotte.
Yes, see, I remember. All right. Okay, how much is owing on this account?
Your Honor, I do believe that an agency helped and paid the balance off for Miss Lefker.
Oh,
And
so it's all paid?
Things paid as of yesterday afternoon.
Yes.
Ah, okay, you just haven't been able to confirm that, is that?
I just confirmed it right before I logged into court today, Your Honor, so.
Oh, cases, then you're moving to dismiss.
Yes, I am moving for this case to be dismissed.
All right. I'm happy to hear that. Is she sleeping?
Yeah, but she.
Let me just see.
Oh, I can't see the bar.
Yay, I'm glad that happened.
Thank you.
More happy for Charlotte. Okay. This case is dismissed. You have a wonderful weekend.
As well, thank you.
Eric. Sile Farms versus Luana Tut.
Sydney Fontanelle for the plaintiff, Your Honor.
Yes.
I'm
Ms.
here.
Tut?
I'm here.
Okay, something's wrong with their camera, but oh, there she is. Okay. So how much is owing on this?
Your Honor, she did drop off a payment of $3,600 today, so there is rent due of $181.20, court costs of $190 for a total of $371.20 due.
$371.20. Ah,
I thought it was only $331.20.
Maybe I did the math wrong. I'll double check, but I don't think so. No, I have the total being $371.20.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Todd?
Yes.
Okay, I think I got a $50 difference between what you may have thought of that. And quite frankly, given where you were, I'm not gonna worry about that, but that right at
I
this
think
moment, okay?
it's only $40 difference. I don't know where that came in when we last met at our court date. I thought my balance was $3,931.20. So I'm just a little.
So there's a second late fee that hits on, I think, the 23rd of each month. And that would be $30. And then, hold on, I'm just pulling it up. So we were last here on the 16th. And so on the 16th, it would have been $59.31.20. You dropped off a money order, and then the late fee hit. So there's $40.
Okay.
Difference.
I didn't realize I do have 331.20 today.
Okay, Miss
I
Todd?
just, yes.
Miss Todd, just listen.
Yes.
All right, so how much do you have right now?
$331.20.
All right.
And I
So
was
do you,
just.
and hang on.
Okay,
All
sorry.
right, I know you, but so when can you pay that to the landlord? You can get that to them today or?
Well, that's what I was trying to tell you. So I am just waiting for a friend of mine to, I don't have transportation. I was waiting for a friend of
Gotcha.
mine to get off work so that I could then go get the cashier's check for that remaining amount and then drop it off.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So you don't have the 371?
I don't have the additional $40.
Okay.
I mean, I could
All right.
try to get it. I could try to borrow it maybe from
All right,
someone.
Miss Todd, here's what I'm gonna do, okay? Because I realize your circumstances. First time you came in here, you were at about almost 6,000. And that's why I'm saying where we are now, I just look at it as a blessing, okay? So I'm not gonna do that. So what I want you to do, what I'm gonna do is this, and I may be doing this over the objection of plaintiff, but if defendant pays you said 321, you said you had 331.
331.20 is
All
what
right.
I have.
If you pay the 331.20 today, I'm going to order the case dismissed, but the plaintiff, that 40 will carry forward. You still will have to pay it, but I'm not going to issue a judgment or a writ for that remaining balance at this time, okay?
All right, thank you. I will pay the 40 with my June rent. Thank you.
Okay. And so then the case will be dismissed because I get where you got the balance and something else clicked in, but you've done yeoman's work to get you where you are, okay? And then the 40 will just click over onto your June. Okay? Fair enough?
Yes, thank you.
All right, that way you don't have to worry about it, okay? And you got there, and I understand I may be doing that over plaintiff's objection, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So, okay.
Your Honor, then if she does pay today, I'm gonna guess that it may be a little bit if she's waiting on transportation. So it may be Monday that I submit that dismissal, just so the court is aware.
Okay, understood. All right, Ms. Tutt, you have a great weekend.
Thank you, you too.
All right. Sydney, always a pleasure. Patty, pleasure. All right.
This was a quick one today, Your Honor. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I know. I'm shocked myself, but
I'm not upset. I'm not upset.
Neither am I. All right, but now I have 30 cases for Mr. Finn coming up at 3, so I'll be here for quite a while. All right.
Thanks,
You
Your
guys take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Court stands in recess.
CNA District Court for County of Washington, State of Michigan is now back in session. Judge Simpsons Landlord.
You may be seated. And,
Ms. Kaziri is in Zoom.
oh, she's in Zoom. Okay. So, yeah, I might need files.
Yeah.
Careful what you wish for.
Okay. Figured all these people showed up for some reason. Court does call the case of Avalon Housing versus Yolanda Shepherd.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Carissa Gazeri, appearing for plaintiff.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Andrew Campbell on behalf of the defendant. Ready? Her name?
Yolanda Shepherd.
Okay. And where are we on this case?
Could, plaintiff counsel please describe?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. So, Your Honor, I think plaintiff's position is the same as it was last week. We need possession of the unit. Every day that goes by, there is ServPro equipment in the unit that's been running. It's causing costs of hundreds of dollars every day for Avalon to have that equipment in there. Avalon is concerned that the delay in demoing the unit is causing further damage. I know that Mr. Campbell has indicated to me that his client has been in contact with an organization to try to get assistance from Ms. Shepherd to help remove the items out. We just need a date for her to get the stuff out. I think at this point we want some certain date. I understand that Mr. Campbell may have an update regarding another unit that may be available to her. I know Ann Arbor Housing Commission, we were told, offered a 4-bedroom unit. Avalon helped assist to get a housing choice voucher for Ms. Shepherd. I mean, we just need to move this along. So that's plaintiff's position.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. We called the county just to let you know, Judge, and they said we could go in. We just have to tell them the day we go in so they can confirm later that no one's continuing to occupy. My client reached out to Faith in Action to get a pod. They talked about getting her a pod to put her things in. She filed an application today for Arbor West to get moved up for a 4-bedroom unit to get on the top of the list.
But wasn't she, I thought she was approved for a 4-bedroom.
Oh, I'm sorry. She is approved, Judge. She just doesn't know when she'll be able to move. And
okay, she doesn't know when she'd be able to move because the unit's not available or because she doesn't know.
No, they didn't tell me. I went there. They said that the unit is available for me now, but they don't have a move-in date. So I had to fill the application out first because they just pulled me. So they had me fill the application out Wednesday, and I'm just waiting to find out when to move in. They didn't tell me. The Ann Arbor Housing didn't tell me.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I don't know if there's any storage available at Avalon for her to move her things in temporarily. She just doesn't have the funds to pay for a storage unit, and that's the primary purpose. We're trying to, if we could have gotten in last week, we would, to move the items, we would have. We just have nowhere to move them, Judge.
Well, I mean, it's gotten down to a point, she's either gonna have to move them or lose them. I mean, so you're gonna, and I'll leave some discretion to you to tell me when she can do it. But if not, I'm just gonna give a date.
Well, I can do it. It wasn't me. Avalon and Faith in Action are in the same building and they work together. So they were the ones that said after our last court date, last week, they're the ones that said, oh, we're gonna wait till you sign the paper. I was supposed to do it that day at 2:00, last Friday at 2.
Sign which papers?
The papers for the apartment that I'm moving in for Arbor West. I was supposed to do that at 2:00 that day, and they bumped it up to a Wednesday. So they wanted to wait. Avalon and Faith in Action wanted to wait to see if it was going to be a move-in date that would be quicker than paying for a storage and then moving into storage and then moving it into an apartment. So the holdup wasn't me when it came to the help, but I can move it out if you faster because I'm really waiting on that.
I just want to interject. So I know that our client is not aware as of the date that Ms. Shepherd has signed a lease for any unit. We were only aware that she was offered by Ann Arbor Housing Commission, a 4-bedroom
Ms.
unit.
Whitney was there.
Don't interrupt.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Mr. Sarah.
You know, and so the only updates that I have been getting regarding the status of Faith in Action with the pod or the storage unit have been from Mr. Campbell. I don't believe that my client, the property management side, has gotten any updates directly from FIA.
Ashley.
Yeah, go ahead.
The property manager was there. She's aware of the housing. She's aware of the storage pod unit. She was there.
All right, you've got a unit that you can move into. So what I'm gonna indicate, well, and when did you receive notification that you needed to let the county know when she can get into the unit?
Your Honor, I confirmed that yesterday. I called Tuesday, left a message, called Wednesday to close, and reached Jennifer from Code Enforcement yesterday. And I believe opposing counsel also confirmed that yesterday as well, almost at the same time.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you 10 days to do whatever you need to do to secure the property. And then at that point, I'm gonna sign an order that would prohibit you from occupying the premises. Anything that's left there, the plaintiff may dispose of, and it will be considered abandoned, the premises. And so you have 10 days. I think that would cover everything. And if counsel for the plaintiff would submit to the court an order, then the court will sign off on that. That comports with that.
Yes, Your Honor. And so that's 10 days from today, correct?
10 days from today to the 9th.
Thank you.
We do, Your Honor, have a pending motion to dismiss, motion for limited discovery, and a motion for more definite statement. Did you want to have that heard later today, Judge, after the?
Well, not really. My next, June 10th. All right. So I'm going to issue that order. All motions, the court will hear on June 10th, 2025, 9 a.m. And that way I'll know if she's out or if she's not out.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, is that in person on this?
That is in person.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Proposed case of Evergreen Apartments versus Abraham Hack.
Carissa Gazari, appearing for plaintiff.
Your name, sir?
My name's Abraham Hack.
All right. And what is plaintiff's claim at this time?
Your Honor, the outstanding balance is $2,823.88, which includes court costs.
In my understanding, you were going to vacate the unit?
Yes.
Have you?
No, I haven't done that yet.
Okay. Is there a reason why you haven't done it yet?
I'm moving back in with my parents, so I've been slowly moving things out of the apartment to vacate, and they told me that I had until the 16th of March, of this upcoming month.
And so do that.
The apartment complex. That's when my lease was up.
Yes, but you owe funds to them. All right. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find no tribal issue after a hearing on this case. I'm going to grant the plaintiff for possession.
Okay.
282388 is what would need to be paid, with a writ to issue June 9th. And then if they're indicating that you can stay, you'll need to talk to the landlord, but I'm going to issue it the standard judgment.
So should I move everything out and then leave as soon as possible, or?
I would say that you should move out as soon as possible.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Is there anything else I need?
No, that'll do it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Have a good weekend. Evergreen Apartments versus, is it Idris Williams? I know I pronounce that incorrectly every time. And he just laughs at me.
Like Idris Elba.
Pardon?
Idris Elba. It's like that. That's spelled a little different. So instead of the I's, the two E's.
Yeah, okay. All right. You can tell me that. I'm not going to remember.
It's all good.
All right. Where are we on this case?
Parissa Gazari on behalf of plaintiff. Your Honor, there's one other defendant named as well in this case.
My little brother.
Abdul Wasi.
Yes. I show the outstanding balance is $1,989.60, which includes court costs.
Correct. Okay, and you were waiting on something from school.
Oh no, I graduated. We're good now. So I got the job. I had my first training day this past Thursday. I go tomorrow. I'm driving out to Jackson. I'm doing my QBS training with my job. My brother got his new job as well. I'm also doing 2 jobs. So we're paying this like $1,300 on the 3rd. Like get that down, and then by the end of this month, we're gonna have both our first new paychecks for our new jobs. And
by the end of June.
Well, before the end of June. It's gonna be well before the end of June, but it's just kind of like this is going into our first paycheck.
Hold on. You got to get this amount paid. How much is your monthly rent?
It's about 13.
All right.
About 13.50 after all the expenses and stuff like that. So
okay,
like the garbage.
So here's what I'm gonna do, young man.
Mhm.
You're gonna have to find a way to come up with the 1989.60.
Mhm.
You're gonna have now.
Like I said, on the 3rd, I'm gonna have 13.
You'll have 1,300 on
yeah,
the 3rd. So
now it's just
as to that balance without including June. When can you come up with the remainder of
it's
that?
literally just waiting for that because this is like the first week of the new job situation. So like the other job it was serving. So
Okay.
serving doesn't do well.
Stop for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm asking you, when can you come up with it?
I don't know
You
when the
go
first
through a
check
whole
comes.
process with me, and
Yeah. It's literally just so like I said, this was the first week of work. So I don't know when my first paycheck will come from them. It should be either in 2 weeks or the following. So I'm just kind of figuring that out. But I have the hours to get paid for it. So that first check will cover the whole balance. It's just more of finding out when that is. I don't know when I can figure that out.
gotcha. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
No, I apologize. I'm not trying to.
No, it's okay. You're not. No, it's just. And you're gonna pay that 1,300 on what day?
The 1,300 will be on the 3rd. And that will part of the whole balance thing.
And when did you start working?
Started working on Thursday. That's when my first training shift was.
Thursday. I got
Yeah,
you.
so when I was
Thursday the 20.
Yep.
Stop.
Oh, like-
Thursday. You know what?
I apologize.
So I'm gonna find no tribal issue after hearing because I don't want June to get rolled over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna issue a judgment for possession for the 1989.60. A writ would issue on June 9th.
Do you mind if I?
However, hold on. However, if the defendant pays $1,300 on or before June 4th, 2025, then the balance of this judgment will be due by the 16th when he should have his check by then.
Mind if I put my phone out and put that in real quick?
Pardon?
You mind if I put my phone out and put that into my notes just so I remember it? I don't want
No,
to be
you
disrespectful.
can do that. Are you gonna stand up here and do that?
No, I was just gonna ask you to
Okay.
say it one more time if you
Your
could.
phone works back there.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you if you could say it one more time.
I got it.
All the concussions, man. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You're good. You just, all right. So here's bottom line, young man. You need to, if you need to pay the 1,300 by June 4th. If you don't, they're going to get an order of eviction on the 9th. Okay, if you pay the 1,300 on the 4th, I'm gonna give you an additional week to come up with that other balance.
Awesome.
Okay,
Sounds good.
got it? Did you get all that into your?
Yeah, no, I
You
got
sure?
the gist of the stuff and I got it all, so
You're
you
a
know.
fast typer like you are a fast talker.
And-
All right. All
Have a
right,
nice
you
one,
take
guys.
care.
Your
Bye.
Honor, sorry, no, I just want to make sure I have the right date. So if it would be, June 10th, is that, or I'm sorry, June 11th, if he makes that payment, right?
If he makes that payment, no, it's gonna be the 16th. I'm gonna extend it out a week.
Okay, 16th.
Because
got
they
it.
won't get their check until probably the 13th,
Got it.
that
Okay,
first check.
thank you. Just wanted to
Okay.
make sure.
All right, thank you. Take care. I like it, but talking to it, I'm tired now. I might have to leave and take a nap. Court calls the case of Evergreen versus Denasia Hamilton.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
Hello,
Hello,
what's your name?
Denasia Hamilton.
All right. How much is plaintiff claiming is owed?
$2,084.66, which includes court costs.
All right. All right, how are we gonna get this paid?
I was denied from DHS, but I had to comply with child support.
Pardon?
I was denied from DHS. I have to comply with child support, and then I submitted another SCR form, and it still was denied. And then
Okay,
I also,
so what are you telling me about child support?
I filled out for child support for them. That was the
Gotcha.
reason why they were denying me. So I'm waiting to hear back from them.
Okay, so their reason that DHS denied you is because you haven't sought child support.
Mhm.
Okay, how many children are there?
Just one.
Just one? Okay, are you working at all or no?
Yes, but my job is underpaying me.
Pardon?
My job is underpaying me.
What do you mean underpaying you?
I only make $16.66, so we don't get paid no more than that. And the taxes is eating the check.
The taxes?
Mhm.
Yeah, welcome to the club. Okay. She's not on at this point, is she?
No, she's not.
All right, did you talk to the people at the front of the court?
No,
Okay, how much is your monthly rent?
$9.79.
Let me ask you this, if I adjourn this out, because I want to also do something, if I adjourn this out, how much are you gonna be able to pay anytime soon?
Well, the next time I get paid will be June 13th. And I pretty much can pay $800 and some dollars. But I am
Didn't you
seeking,
get it? That means you got a check today, right?
I haven't seen my check yet. It hasn't hit my bank account or anything like that.
Well, but you would be getting a check today, right? If you're getting one on the 13th?
Mhm.
Okay, out of this check that you're gonna get, I realize you may not have seen it. How much do you think you could pay?
At least $400.
Okay. So I want $400. By June 4th. Okay. I need you to go down. So what I'm gonna do, I'll explain it in a moment. That I'll adjourn this to June 6, 2025 at 1 p.m. What I need you to do is I need you to go down to the front of the court. Ms. Kazari, I'll explain this, that there's a program I'm kind of testing with the Washtenaw County front of the court for those that may be behind or may have other difficulties either paying their child support or receiving child support. They appear on our first hearing docket, but aren't here this afternoon. Otherwise, I'd have them talk directly to her. So I want to see if they can get her assistance in that regard. All right. So what I need you to do is I need you to get down to the front of the court to request assistance in getting child support paid.
Okay.
Filing for child support. So you know where you have to go, downtown Ann Arbor?
Mhm.
Okay, you know where you have to go?
Yes.
Okay. Go down there. When you go down, we don't really have a form or referral type of thing right as of yet, because this is still in the beginning phases. Go down there and tell them that you appeared on my housing docket.
Okay.
Okay. And that Judge Simpson sent you down to see about filing for child support.
Okay.
And that you're on my landlord tenant docket.
Okay.
Okay. They should at that point then help you. We will also. Right. So what I also want you to do is write down contact information for yourself. We'll have you write it down.
Okay.
With your permission, we'll also send that to our contact person at the front of the court to also try to help the process get started. Okay? And I'll adjourn it out to that date at 1. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Evergreen Apartments versus Kayla Smith.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
Hello.
Hello,
What's your name?
Kayla Smith.
And where are we on this case?
The outstanding balance is $2,902.30, which includes court costs.
Was that 82 or $2?
$2.
Two.
And actually, it looks like the note I have from my client says that Hawk has approved her for $2,382.30 and will be released within 2 weeks. It
Okay.
sounds like SER was approved for 520.
Got it. So that pretty much does everything, it looks like.
Mhm.
Okay. So they said 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay. So let me ask you this, young lady, and then I'll decide what I'm gonna do. What's your plan for your June rent?
I am going to pay it on Monday.
So you're gonna pay your June rent Monday?
Yes.
Okay, and then you've got payments securing everything that's the back part.
Yes.
Look at you. All right.
Look, I was trying.
All right. So what I'm gonna do, so hopefully we can have this resolved, rather than give you a judgment. I'll just adjourn this out June 6, 2025 at 1 p.m. We'll try to make sure your June rent's paid, and then we know that we may have to wait on the hot payments.
Okay.
You'll be good.
Okay.
Sound good? All right. You have a great weekend.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you.
Evergreen Apartments versus John Hudson.
Carissa Gazari appearing for plaintiff.
Okay. John Hudson did not check in. If you'd like to take a call, raise your right hand.
Yeah, so Your Honor, Mr. Hudson made a few partial payments on his account and now his balance is $41.
Then I'm not gonna let you take a
Okay.
call. What would you like to do? Adjourn it over or dismiss with the reservation for the 41? Whatever's your pleasure.
I would like to adjourn it, I think, to see if he pays.
All right. I'll adjourn it out June 6, 2025, 1 p.m. All right. Court calls the case of Evergreen Apartments versus Nelsa. Is it Nieves Montanez?
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
Hello.
Hello?
Oh, there we are. We can see you. What's your name?
Okay. Nelson Eve Montanez.
All right. And how much is owing on her account?
$3,705.12.
All right. Ma'am, how are you intending on getting that paid?
I told them I was gonna pay the some amounts or so they can pay the 3,000 for me. I have to pay a certain amount for them to pay the rest of it. So I told her on the first I was gonna pay that amount so they can help me pay the rest.
Okay, so you, on the first, how much can you pay, you say?
At least 1,000. So
I'm
that way it can
sorry?
help me.
At
At
least
least
how much?
1,000. 1,000.
So Your Honor, I
And
understand
then,
that she's been approved for Hawk for 3,000, but she has to pay her portion first.
got it.
Yeah, I gotta pay at least
Is
2,000
that right,
something, I believe
ma'am?
it is.
Because you were
Yes.
muffled for me.
Yes, I gotta pay at least 2,000 something for them to pay the rest of it.
Got it. So she's been approved by Hawk. So you're gonna pay 1,000 by the first,
2,000.
2,000.
Yes.
Well, how much are you approved for Hawk?
They can help me at least up to 3,000, she told me.
Right. So what's your monthly rent?
1,499.
Gotcha. Okay, I see what you're trying to do then. So here's the thing. If you were, I think we did the calculation before. So we're gonna need, but if you pay 2, then we should be good with June. If you pay the 2, and then that should take off, so we might be down to the 3,000. Actually, no, we won't.
No.
What will take us down, if the numbers given to me last month were right for June, is you're gonna need about $1,400.
Okay.
About 2,000, and then you're gonna need another, I'm sorry, $2,400. So, yeah, so if you pay 2,000, is there any way you can come up with 2,400 by next week?
I can try.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put, you're gonna pay between $2,000 to $2,400 by the 5th. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to adjourn your case out to June 6, 2025 at 1:00.
Okay.
And then we'll see exactly where you are and how much, if you pay the 24, you're gonna be all set.
Okay.
Okay, because if Hawk kicks in their 3, then that's gonna cover you.
Alrighty.
But if you're short, we're gonna have to figure out something else.
Alrighty. I can do that.
Okay?
Yes.
All right, we'll see you then.
See you then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Evergreen Apartments versus Evelyn Carter.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
Oh, I'm sorry. Also, Majesty Moyer and Myron Moyer.
I'm Evelyn.
Pardon?
I'm Evelyn.
You're Evelyn. Okay. And this is a termination of tenancy case.
That's correct, Your Honor. Lease ended on May 5th, I think, or May 4th. May 4th, 2025.
All right. So
that was the issue. The lease didn't end on May 4th or 5th because RPI said it was the 31st of this month. So it's tomorrow.
That's your lease ends.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So I have a place already. The inspection is for the 3rd of June. Because it's like an outlet that you have to fix. Once that, because they already came in, once I get approved, I can move in. So I'm just asking, can I return the key on Monday, the 9th, if that's possible? If it's
Monday the 9th.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I could be moved
Who's this
up.
with you?
This Myron.
Myron Moyer. Thank you. All right. I just want to make sure who I got here because you just strolled up, wasn't going to say anything. All right. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do then.
Okay.
I'm going to issue a judgment for possession. I will do it finding no tribal issue as to, after hearing, as to defendants 1 and 3. And then by default as to defendant 2 with a writ date of You said you needed to the 9th.
Yes, I can give them that
All
on
right.
that day.
I'll make the writ date.
Okay.
Because is he gonna be helping you?
He's doing it all.
Oh, okay, because no, the way he walked up, I'm gonna give him an extra day. All right, so I'll make the writ date June 10th,
So
okay?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Do I have to come back to court once I give them the key?
Do you want to?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Then, no, you don't have to come back. Everything will be all set. If you don't turn in the keys, then they're gonna forcibly take the unit. Oh, you don't want to have happen.
They can have their keys.
All right, thank you. Don't put that on your head until you get out. Yeah, get out in the hallway before you, yeah, all right. Glencoe Hills versus Devonta Jackson.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff. I believe there's one other defendant as well.
Yes, that would be LaChaya Williams.
Yo, you got
Oh, I messed it up. I did.
close enough.
I did. I feel bad. I'm hurt. I know I hurt you. I do the best I can. My apologies once again, young lady. I apologize.
You're okay.
All right. And where are we on this case?
Your Honor, the outstanding balance, the outstanding balance is $1,622.50, which includes court costs.
All right. And Ms. Williams? I had on here that you were going to pay the balance by the 30th.
I think Hawk reached out to them and asked for some documents. I think they were going to approve me to pay off the rent. So I was just waiting for the assistance.
Do you have any indication of that, Ms. Kazari?
Your Honor, in the notes for my client, there is notes that she applied for Hawk assistance, so I'm assuming that they must have received the request.
They must have. Okay. So here's what I'll do, LaChina. All right. Now that I got the name, I'm gonna mess it. I'm gonna tell you why. And I warned you the last time I was gonna mess it up, so I'm gonna mess it up again. I'll apologize, but I can only do the best I can. So what? June 6, 2025 at 1 p.m. Let's see what Hawk says. How much is your monthly rent?
$1,300.
Okay. So here's what, are you gonna have $100 that you can pay to the landlord?
Yes.
Okay, so $100 over to the landlord. And the reason I'm doing that is so that just to make sure you're under that 3,000. If Hawk approves you. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
And we'll do it that way. Okay?
Okay.
We'll see you. LaChina, we'll see you next week.
On the 6th at what time?
At 1 p.m.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And don't let me mess up her name next time. I know you tried, and I just went ahead. Glencoe Hills versus Daniel Worth.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
Daniel Worth, he has not checked in. Did I swear her?
You did not.
Okay. If you'd like to take a default,
Yes.
do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right.
Your Honor, the rent to retain possession is $2,896.63. Court costs of $171 for a total redemption of $3,067.63. Plaintiff is requesting entry of a default judgment for possession with a writ to issue after 10 days if the total amount remains unpaid.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that's by default for possession, redemption amount, and the amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Glencoe Hills versus Daniel Reynolds.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
Don't have it checked in.
Daniel Reynolds, not checked in. You may proceed.
Your Honor, the rent to retain possession is $1,147.70. Court costs of $171 for a total redemption of $1,318.70. Plaintiff is requesting entry of a default judgment for possession with a writ to issue after 10 days if the total amount remains unpaid.
Judgment to the plaintiff, that's by default for possession, redemption amount, and the amount requested, writ to issue 10 days. Gulfside Lakes versus Patrice Haywood.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
Oh, there she is. I knew Miss Hayward had to be here. Hello.
Hello.
All right, let's see. Where are we now on her case?
The outstanding balance is $1,023.02, which includes court costs.
All right, how are we gonna get this paid?
As soon as possible. Yes.
All right, well, when you say as soon as possible, when do you think you can get it paid?
The email came from work, said my payment was coming on the 9th, but so I'll have to do it. Can't wait till the 9th, but,
Well, hold on a second. So you'll get this amount on the 9th?
yes.
Is that gonna be a check to you or how's that gonna be?
Into my bank.
It'll go right into your bank account. You can use it right away?
Yes.
All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. So that I can lock in the figure. And so we're not including, because this won't include June. Okay, at this point. So I'm gonna issue a judgment for possession, finding no tribal issue after hearing for that total amount of 10,2302, $1,023.02. All right, with a writ date, if the check's late, let's do June 11th. Give you a few extra days to get that, okay?
Thank you.
And then get it to the landlord, okay?
Thank you.
All right, will that work for you?
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome, Ms. Haywood. You take care of yourself. Have a great weekend. Court calls case of the Gulfside Lakes versus Dewan Wintermate.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
Nope, it's right here. He didn't check in, but he's here. Come on out. What's your name?
Dewan. Mate.
Okay, all right. And let's see. How much does he currently owe?
The outstanding balance is $1,752.86, which includes court costs.
All right.
I was just, I'm waiting on SOS because they're still emailing me and they say they're, willing to pay it. And, I'm waiting on Ozone House to call me back because they say they can help me pay it as well.
So Hawk said that they pay it?
No, Hawks, they emailing me. They just trying to figure out, why, my housing voucher didn't reduce the amount to 0 for my rent currently.
Okay. So what's your monthly rent now?
I think it's $300.
Okay. Ms. Gazari, do you have his monthly rent?
Yes, it looks like it is $316.
Okay. And you're indicating SOS said that they would pay this for you?
SOS, they just emailed me probably like 30 minutes ago. They said they didn't really make it clear that it would pay, but they said they still have my case open, basically.
Oh, okay. Ms. Gazari, you have any information, SOS or Hawk?
No, not on this one.
All right. Okay, young man, are you gonna be able to pay anything soon on this?
Myself, I'm DoorDashing today and tomorrow. I should be able to pay 100 myself tomorrow.
Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna issue a judgment for possession, finding no tribal issue after hearing. The reason I'm gonna do that is so that we don't include the other amount in, although they may pay it. Then if Hawk pays it, they will pay it for that total amount of, I think 1752.86. So I'm gonna issue that judgment. I'm gonna give you until June 12th to get that paid. Okay?
Okay.
So then what you need to do is you need to get back in touch with Hawk, respond to that email if they need you to respond.
Okay.
Telling them what I did and that you have to the 12th to get this amount paid.
Okay.
Okay? All right,
Okay, thank you,
thank
Judge.
you.
Thank you.
Gulfside Lakes versus Sarah Brown.
Carissa Gazeri for plaintiff. There's one more defendant on this one too.
Oh, is there? Yes, there is. And Jalen Brown. Sarah Jalen Brown. They have not checked in. You may proceed.
Thank you. The rent to retain possession is $859.47. Court costs of $214 for a total redemption of $1,073.47. Plaintiff is requesting entry of a default judgment for possession with the writ to issue after 10 days if the total amount remains unpaid.
Judgment to the plaintiff by default for possession redemption amount in the amount requested, writ to issue in 10 days. Gulfside Lakes versus Lakia Williams and Karan Williams.
Carissa Gazeri for plaintiff.
Lakia's in Zoom. Oh,
Hello,
yep.
Your Honor.
There she is. Hello. Okay. Where are we on their case?
Your Honor, the outstanding balance is $3,593.26.
All right. All right. How are you? You were supposed to pay $500.
Yes, Your Honor. So, what happened was I ended up having an unexpected thing with my car and it broke down and I had to pay to get it towed and then I had to pay an extra $200 to fix whatever needed to be on it. So I have $150 left today to put on it and I just started my new job this week. So next week I should be able to pay down what Alicia, and she said if I could knock it down to that 3,000 mark, then she's gonna have a chat with Melissa about everything. It's just I can't really include the June, basically.
Right. Okay. And so I'm going to do the same thing that I did on the other case. And that is, after hearing, I'm going to find that there's no tribal issue. I'm going to grant a judgment for possession. I'm going to do that in the amount of the 3593.26. You're going to need to get that amount down to the 3,000. Hawk hopefully will then come through. Then you'll be all set. This is not including June at all. You understand that?
Yeah, that's basically what Alicia was telling me today, but I told her I will have a conversation and let you guys know, so we can know what to do in regards to that.
Right. What you're going to need to do realistically is get the judgment amount down to the 3,000. So you're going to have to find 593.26, get that paid to the landlord. So at least as of the end of May, it shows 3,000. And then you guys are going to have to find a way. They're probably going to ask you to have something in place or pay June before they're going to pay the 3,000.
Yes.
Okay. You got that?
Yeah, and
So
I should
I'm
have
gonna issue the judge.
June's paid
Go
within the
ahead.
next I should have June paid within the next 3 weeks.
Okay. So you may be able to work something out with the landlord regarding that. I will extend their order of eviction date to the 12th. All right. So that way, that's going to give you time to get that $600 basically in to do that. You got it?
Yes, thank you so much.
Not a problem. You have a good weekend.
You too. Bye.
Thank you.
Gulfside Lakes versus Erica Hall.
Carissa Gazeri for plaintiff.
Yes, I got it right. So don't even yell at me. How you doing?
Okay, how are you? Erica Hall.
Okay. All right. And what do we have as the balance at this point?
The balance is $2,184.29, which includes court costs.
Okay, so the 600 got paid.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just paid another 100 while I was sitting there.
Okay. Okay. So you paid another 100. So try to figure out what I'm going to do that'd put you around 2,100 or a little over 2,000. How are you gonna get that paid?
I can have it all paid by the 16th. I can pay 600 by Friday coming up, and then the rest by the 16th. That's a Monday. And the only reason I say that is because I do hair, so I need that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday because I get paid.
All right. But then, what about June?
I think I mentioned the loan the last time. I should have it by then. And then
So let's. Gee, that's not gonna. I can't. Let me ask you this. So on the 9th, how much do you think you could pay?
By the 9th.
So that's after a weekend. So I'm taking
after a weekend.
So not this weekend, but the following weekend. How much do you think?
Like 1,000.
1,000?
You said not this weekend.
Right.
Not
so
the upcoming weekend, but the weekend after.
This weekend would be, the date after this weekend would be the 2nd. I'm talking about the 9th, 2 weeks out, basically.
I can try for 1,000.
1,000? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna issue a judgment for possession, locking in that number that we have right now. This doesn't include June. Finding no judgment for possession, finding no tribal issue after hearing for the total amount of the 2184.29. What I will do in terms of writ date, the writ date would be the 10th. I'm gonna make it the 10th, June 10th, 2025, that you would need to pay that. However, if the defendant pays $1,000 by the 9th, then the writ date's extended to the 16th. That'll get you through that second weekend.
Okay.
That makes sense to you?
So pay 1,000 by the 9th.
Pay 1,000 by the 9th, and then you gotta clear that balance by the 16th.
Okay.
Okay, realizing how your pay, you're right. You told me that before.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gulfside Lakes versus Emmett Redwine.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
I know he's here.
How you doing, Your Honor?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
I'm all right.
Okay. How much is owing on Mr. Redwine's account?
$3,009.28, which includes court costs.
All right. How you gonna get that paid?
I'm gonna pay every week. I'm gonna pay, I have 3,000 paid before June, but by the end of June. Only thing is, like, obviously, July, the first week of July is the 4th, that Friday, is that Friday? I have it all paid. I mean, I'm gonna have at least 3,000 paid by the end of June. Then I still be owing like $400, $500.
Well, what's your monthly rent?
12, 19. I pay
All right, but
24.
you're gonna owe more than that. If you're at 3,000 now, 1,200 clicks in, you'll be at 42. If you pay 3, you're still gonna owe 1,200.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I no, I already, this already, my June already added in.
What do you mean?
The June is added into this already.
No, it's not.
Uh-huh.
No.
Yes, it is, Your Honor. It's 42. It was 42. What I'm saying, because I looked at it, my thing, it said it's 42. It was $4,200. I mean, looking at my my thing on my what you call it, for my apartment that I get every month, if I can pay my thing, it said 4,200.
They may have already added June into that.
Oh, okay, I'm
But
sorry.
the number I'm given today does not include June.
Okay, see, I'm already ahead. I'm just trying to think ahead.
Okay.
I apologize.
So if I have the 3,000, how are you gonna get that paid? Because I can't get you to the end of June to get this paid.
You see, if I owe 30 right now, is that 3,500, right?
You owe $3,009.28.
3,000?
But you were supposed to pay 750 by today.
I did pay.
You did?
Yes,
When did you pay that?
I paid it this morning.
Okay, hold on. Ms. Kazari, do you have that on there?
No, I
Paid-
don't.
You don't have the 750.
I'll show it to you. I got the receipt.
Mr. Rick.
Oh, I paid 753. Okay.
You need to calm down. All right, because every time you come, you tell me some confusing long story, but you never lied to me. All right, so I'm gonna take it at that. If you tell me you paid it, I'm gonna believe that you paid it.
753.
Okay, but if I find out you lied to me, you know
I have it a
you
receipt
know
in
how,
my
I
phone.
know you. I just
I apologize, John.
but no, you don't. You
It-
just come
this
here,
ain't who I am.
come here to give me a hard time every Friday.
I don't want to do that. I watch you on YouTube a lot. I don't
All right. So if I take that off, he's at about 2250. All right, or a little. I'm just rounding it off. All right. So when that amount, how soon do you think you can get that paid?
What? The 22?
Yeah.
You say 714, 750, 750, 740. Sure, I mean that in 3 weeks. How much you say again?
$2,250.
2,000. I can have that. 2,000. 3 weeks. For
I
that.
hate watching you do math.
Math
I
is
re-
my favorite
no, I
subject,
do.
dog. I love math.
I do.
I love math. It's my favorite
Every
subject.
time you come here, and the first thing you do is you start counting on your fingers, and I said it's just going to take a long time. And then when you get to the end, you tell me something and I don't understand what you told me.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh well. Okay, just say that amount one more time. 2,000.
$2,250.
200. Okay. I had that paid in that I can have that paid in 3 weeks. Because I could pay 750 next week. And I'm gonna pay 750 again the following week. And then 750 again the following week. That would add up to 21. That's 22 right there.
Okay.
That's 2250.
I can't do that. Okay. But you're going to have to go and talk to your landlord. Okay. But here's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
And we had to do this last time in your case. I'm going to cut that number off. So I'm going to issue them a judgment because she doesn't have your 750 yet. I'm going to do the $3,009.28 for a judgment, finding no tribal issue after a hearing. Okay. You've already paid 750. So what day do you get paid?
I get paid every Friday.
Every Friday?
Yes.
You know, Mr. Redwine, this would be so much easier if I didn't like you. Listen. Okay. I'm going to, and this is going to be over the objection of plaintiff, but I'm going to give him a shot. The writ would issue June 13th. So if defendant pays 1,500, then the writ's extended to the 20th. Okay. I'm extending you. You're looking at me confused.
I look at my calendar.
No, don't get your calculator.
Okay.
Let me just lay it out to you plain.
Okay.
Okay. So normally you'd have to do this. If I just issued a standard judgment, you'd have to pay everything by the 9th.
Okay.
Okay. You already paid 750.
Correct.
You tell me you can have this cleared in 3 weeks.
I got you.
So
22.
Right, the 22.
Yeah.
Right. You're still going to have to work on June.
Correct.
So I'm locking the figure in, and then I'm giving you to the 13th to get $1,500 to the landlord.
It'll be done.
Okay, okay. So when you have to get 1,500 into that.
What day is the 13th?
Just listen.
All right.
Get the 1,500 in. At that point, rather than them can issue an order of eviction, I'm going to give you another week to get another 750 to them.
Okay.
so that then you can get cleared up.
Okay, so I have 15 paid back.
You gotta, I want you to pay $750.
And that's 15.
That's what I want you to pay. I'm just saying,
Yes, sir.
by the 13th, if you pay the $750, that's $1,500.
Yes.
So you ought to have that done by then.
Yes, I will.
Okay, and then I'm gonna give you the next week to get that next amount.
Okay, then where we go from there? I don't have to come back here?
Not on this case. I mean, that's all. Emmett, that's the only thing I can say. You're gonna be back. It's not on the.
God forbid. It ain't because I want to.
You always tell me that.
I know.
You're back.
I'm gonna tell you why, because it's like I was like I robbed Peter to pay Paul, and I got to pay Peter back. Then you know.
And then you come in, you tell me the whole story. You do.
But I get it paid. I pay it.
Then we straighten you out, and then you're gonna be back.
I know. It's crazy, ain't it?
It is.
Yeah. I pay more in court costs than I pay for rent.
You tell me about it. But you got to pay the court costs because
I
you
know.
got that funny math that you do.
Yeah, I get it.
All right.
Okay.
And I realize this is over the objection to plaintiff, but I'm gonna give it a shot. All
Okay.
right.
Have a good
Thank you.
I'll talk about my head.
But I was gonna say something.
Yes,
But no, I know I'm not gonna say anything, man.
I'm trying to hold on to it, man. I'm about to be 50 years old. I'm trying to hold on. Take care.
Emmett, take care. Bless his heart. Gulfside Lakes versus Michelle Goebel.
Carissa Gazeri
She's
for
in
plaintiff.
And also Marlon Goebel.
Hi, Michelle Goebel here.
Okay. And what does she owe at this time?
$1,043.74, which includes court costs.
All right. She did exactly what she said. She was going to pay the $600. And so, Ms. Goebel, when how soon can you get that paid?
The remaining balance can be paid on Wednesday, June 11th. That's my next paycheck.
That is okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find no tribal issue after hearing. I'm going to give judgment for possession. The total amount is the $1,043.74. And you get a paycheck on the 11th.
Yes.
Okay, and then I'm going to indicate June 12th. So I'm going to give you an extra few days to try to get that paid in.
Awesome.
And just so that you know, this doesn't include your June rent.
Got it.
Okay, so I blocked that figure in so you can maintain your housing. All right?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a great weekend.
You too.
Huron Vista versus Wilbur Burrell.
Carissa Gazeri for plaintiff.
Hello, how you doing?
How you doing? What's your name?
Will Burrell. Wilbur Burrell. Like
Will.
the address is Will.
Gotcha. All right. Okay, what do we have owing at this point?
Your Honor, the outstanding balance is $1,525, which includes court costs. I understand that Mr. Burrell is doing the forgiveness plan COD for Huron Vista.
Okay.
So I just need to draft that.
Okay, so you want me to adjourn it out a week?
Yes, and I just want to confirm with him that that's correct, that he is wanting to do
Yeah.
that.
Is that correct? You're gonna do the forgiveness program?
Yes. Yeah, I talked to David. Yes.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. They have to draft it up, so I'm gonna adjourn this to June 6, 2025, 1 PM.
Okay. Can I get documentation? What you say, June 6th?
Yep. 1 week from today.
Okay.
Okay.
I got that then.
All right, it's a Friday and you haven't seen my smiling face, you're in the wrong spot.
All right.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you.
You take care.
Uh-oh.
Court calls the case Huron Vista versus Alicia Moore.
Carissa Gazeri for plaintiff.
Oh, there she is. It's okay. Come on out. Hello, what's your name?
Alicia Moore.
All right. And what is the amount owing?
Your Honor, the outstanding balance is $3,522, which includes court costs. I understand that this is one where Ms. Moore has also agreed that she wants to do a conditional order of dismissal with Huron Vista. So I'm asking for a 1-week adjournment to draft that conditional order of dismissal.
Is that correct, ma'am?
Yeah.
Forgiveness program, all right. Then I'm gonna adjourn this out June sixth, 2025, 1 PM. And hopefully we can get all the paperwork together and get this resolved.
What date is that? What day of the week is that?
That's a Friday.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. You have a good weekend. Court calls the case Huron Vista versus Jacqueline Taylor.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
Jack-
Good afternoon, Judge Simpson.
Oh, hold on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, what's your name?
Jacqueline Taylor.
Okay, she's. All right.
Yeah.
And how
I'm
much
sorry,
is
I
claim owed on this case?
Your Honor, it's $2,194.03, which includes court costs. I understand that Ms. Taylor and Ms. Tolliver, who is the second defendant, are interested in
Yeah,
conditional order of dismissal forgiveness plan as well.
all right. Is that correct, Ms. Taylor?
Yes. Yes, sir. I talked
Okay.
to David.
That's why,
Yes.
is that why you didn't pay the 500 yet?
Yes. Yes. He told me just
Okay.
pay June's rent on time. Yes.
Got it. Okay. So I'll adjourn this out to June sixth, 2025 at 1 PM. And then hopefully what we can do is have all the paperwork together and get this matter resolved. Fair enough?
Okay. Thank you so much. Yes.
All righty. Bye-bye now.
Have a
Huron
good
Vista
weekend.
versus Rodney Taylor.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
What's your name?
Rodney Taylor.
Okay. And how much is owing on this?
$2,223, which includes court costs. I understand that Mr. Taylor is also interested in the conditional order of dismissal forgiveness plan, so I'm requesting a 1-week adjournment, assuming that's correct.
Is that correct, sir?
Correct.
All right. I'm gonna adjourn it out June 2025, 1 PM. Let's see if we can get everything together and see if we can close it.
Okay.
All right.
Actually, a question.
Ask who?
Um,
Ms. Gazari?
yeah.
Go ahead.
Ma'am, excuse me. So should I wait to pay June's rent? If I can pay it today, should I wait to the first to pay it?
No, I mean, it's still timely if you pay it now.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, pay, right. The forgiveness program is gonna start for him in
I'm
June.
about to go pay them right now.
But no, hold on, just hold on.
Oh, okay.
No. So it's gonna start for him in June. So whenever he pays it, doesn't matter. So you can pay it today, you can pay.
Oh, great.
All right?
Exactly.
Thank you. Take care now. Peninsula Place versus Brianna Johnson.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
Hello, come on out. Okay, what's your name?
Brianna Johnson.
Okay, and where are we with her case?
Your Honor,
So-
the outstanding balance is $2,785.98, which includes court costs.
789, you said?
85 and 98 cents. 785.
85 and 98. Got it. Okay, how are we gonna get this paid?
I plan on like putting down like at least $750 on the 5th when I get paid. The original plan was to have Hawk help me, but it like kind of grew over time. But I talked to, I think it was an intake supervisor with SOS today, and she told me that their funding is kind of low right now, but it should be renewed early June. So I just plan to start making sure that I could start putting money down on it so that, I told her the amount and she told me that she still don't know if like they would still be able to pay that amount. So I just was like, okay, well, I'll do whatever I can for it.
I gotcha. Okay. If they're gonna pay it, you're capped at 3,000. Okay. What's your monthly rent?
704.
Pardon?
704.
704. Okay, so they gotta give you clearer messaging. So, because you don't know whether they're gonna be able to do it or not.
And originally I just wasn't able to reach out to the person that I originally talked to. So that's who I could contact at the time. Because they said they don't even know how to contact her either. The person that emailed me originally.
Okay, so somebody emailed you from SOS or Hawk, and that person you can't get through to. And so this other person is just giving you the best information. I guess. Okay. All right. So you can say I'm gonna do something a little bit different with you, okay? Because you can pay how much by
The
this?
5th.
Huh?
The 5th, I get paid on the 5th.
Okay, so how much can you pay on the 5th?
$750.
$750. So that would really, all right. I'm gonna take a chance on you. You make sure you get that in, okay? Because you're right at the cap. You're right near the top of what SOS or Hawk would pay. So I don't want to go over that. But if you pay that, that's going to be your June. And then we can kind of let them figure out. I don't know if more funding's coming in June or not. Okay. So it's a little bit iffy, but I'm a little bit worried that somebody contacts you and you can't get through to that person to give you some clarity. So pay the $750 by the 5th, by June 5th. Okay. I'm going to adjourn your case over to June 6, 2025 at 1. Okay. And if you don't get that paid, I'm not going to hear anything else. This is your judgment. So you don't want me to do that.
All right.
Okay. Let's see if we can do that. Okay.
All right.
You take care. Have a good weekend. Peninsula Place versus Rahalia Jackson.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
She's in Zoom. Hello.
Hello, my name is Rahalia Jackson.
Rahalia Jackson. Got it. Okay. And what does she owe at this point?
It is $2,786.94.
All right. Miss Jackson, how are you going to get that paid?
I do have a second job, so right now I'm pulling in at about $1,000 a week. So I did have like a question regarding like June's rent because I am in contact with Hawk and DHS. DHS called me today and asked for some documentation to like process my application, and I still haven't heard back from Hawk, but they asked me for documentation yesterday. So
who did?
Hawk. And I'm not sure if they have like if their liaison is like in the court today, but like
No, I
if you
don't
get an
have
update
their
on that.
liaison. I don't have
Okay.
that person here today.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. Between now and next week, how much can you pay?
I can pay June's rent. So that is $724.
And when can you pay that?
The 6th.
The 6th?
I get paid on that Friday, next Friday.
Pardon?
I said I get paid next Friday.
Okay. Can you pay it, say, before noon?
Before noon. So I get paid around 4:30, like 4:30 p.m.
Pardon? There's something with your
Can you
mic.
hear me
Oh
better
no.
now?
You froze on me. Okay, what were you
I said
saying?
that I can pay it around 4:30 p.m. That's when I get a direct deposit.
Oh, okay. You can't pay it till late that day. Okay. When do you expect to hear back from Hawk?
I have no idea. They needed like documentation from me, like my ID and stuff like that. This was a few
Okay.
days ago.
So here's what you're gonna do, because I don't want this number to get any worse. All right. So rather than adjourn it out, I'm gonna find after finding no tribal issue, I'm gonna grant a judgment for possession. For the 8694. Okay, so if Hawk's gonna help you and you get paid on the 6th, you get paid every week or every other week?
It's every other week.
Every other week. All right. So I'm gonna have your writ date be the standard writ date, so it would be the 9th
Mhm.
or writ date. If you pay, you said you can pay $750, your June rent, basically,
Mhm.
$750, you think you can
Mhm.
pay?
Yes.
Okay. If you pay $750, then your writ's gonna be extended to the 13th. Well, no, to the 16th.
Mhm.
Okay, so I extended it out additional week. That won't cover you with another check, but at least hopefully you can get an answer from Hawk as to whether or not they're gonna cover you.
Okay.
That makes sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do it that way, and hopefully they'll come through.
Okay.
Okay, you take care.
You too. Thank you so much.
Peninsula Place versus Jacqueline Gardner.
Carissa Gazari for plaintiff.
Hi,
Hello, Miss Gardner. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I think I'm okay. I don't know. I have to check at the end of the day to see if I'm okay. But all right, how much does she owe?
$2,515.81.
All right. And how are we gonna get this paid?
I did the 4 this morning. They don't process until after 3 p.m., so it'll be on there in the morning. And then I did
You
reach out
paid
to legal services, but they told me because I don't have Section 8, they can't help me.
Okay. So you said you did what
The
this morning?
400? The 400.
Okay. So you paid 400. All right. So how are you gonna get the rest of this paid, you think?
I'm just depending on family every 2 weeks because I'm on the maternity leave from the baby.
That's right.
So that's all because I've tried all the services through the state and I'm getting denied.
Okay. Have you talked to Hawk or SOS?
Yeah, they told me because I'm on maternity leave and I'm not at least bringing in 10% of money, they can't help me.
Oh, dear God. That's right. You told me that because I was as mad as I am now.
Yeah.
Um,
And then legal services said I'm not on Section 8 or subsidized, so they can't help me.
all right. What's your monthly rent?
I think it's $725 before add-ons.
Pardon?
$725 before add-ons.
Got it. Okay, so 725. Okay, let me ask you this. You got 4 in. When do you think you can get that 725 in?
My sister said she gets paid in 2 weeks and she can try to give me some. I have an extra 100 that I could pay on Monday.
Okay, so you can pay 100 on Monday. And you don't know, your sister is helping you out, but you don't know how much, right?
Yeah. I can tell her you said 750 and see if she could do 750.
You want to get me in between you and your sister? I don't think so. All right, but that's what I would need to get paid.
Okay.
Okay, because what day you say?
It's Fridays in 2
Yeah,
weeks.
so by the 6th?
Yeah.
Okay. Because Miss Gardner, I don't, what their policies don't make any sense to me. Because you're on maternity leave, but because you're on maternity leave, we won't give assistance. And then if you're not on Section 8 because you work, nobody's gonna,
Yeah. I can't get any help.
it's illogical to me. All right. Because otherwise you work all the time. So what? All right. Here's what I'm going to say. I need $725 to
My
the landlord.
boyfriend gets paid on the 9th and he can help me with something too.
Okay, I got you. But my next date that I'm going to give you is on the 6th.
Okay.
And here's what I'm trying to do so that you know. I'm going to try to extend the time, try to figure out something to do. But I can't let the number get any worse. And we're kicking into June. So I'm trying to, best way, I'm just trying to buy time for you right now. See if we can figure out something better to do. Got it?
Yeah.
So I need 725, which is your base rent, paid by the 5th.
Okay.
Okay? I'm going to adjourn your case out to June 6, 2025 at 1 p.m.
Okay.
Okay? And
Okay.
then get that in. We'll probably still be at the same balance, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking for a miracle. We'll figure it out.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Okay,
you.
you take care.
You too.
Okay. Have a good weekend. Provident Asset Management versus Sandra Moore.
Carissa Gazeri for plaintiff.
What's he doing? He gonna show up at the end of my day doing? No, he abandoned me. Why is he here now? What? He left me. He left me trained, you were supposed to be training him. And ever since he left, I haven't felt safe. I don't know what, and then he gonna come up, never mind. Your name, ma'am?
Sandra Moore.
All right. Okay, and what's her balance at this point?
$2,515.55.
All right. Ms. Moore, how are we gonna get this paid?
I have an application in with Hawk, and I got an email from her saying that she's working on it.
Okay. When did you get that email?
It said 7 days ago. She sent me the email.
Okay, and you haven't heard from them since?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. Okay. And remind me to send a letter or an email. They got to be clear about their messaging to people because I'm going to adjourn it out. Because I don't know what that means in terms of they're working on it.
Okay.
Okay. How much is your monthly rent?
$875 rather.
$875.
Mhm.
Okay. Do you think between now and next week you're going to have any part of that?
I won't have any more. I won't get paid again until the 10th.
Okay, I got you. All right. I'm going to adjourn it out anyway, and your balance is going to go up. But so here's part of the problem. Let's say Hawk comes along and says they're going to help you out, right? You're going to be about, see, that's 3, 4. You're going to, with your other rent clicking in, you're going to be about $400 to $500 over the maximum amount that they would pay.
Okay.
So somehow or another, we got to get that amount in and then see what Hawk does.
Okay. I can make a payment on the 10th.
Okay, on the 10th?
Mhm.
Okay, but I'm going to have you back here on the 6th.
Okay.
I'll put that you get paid on the 10th. And then we may have to go from there on something. All right, but maybe we'll have some news from Hawk.
I hope so.
I hope so too. All right, you have a great weekend.
You too.
Calls the case of the Haven versus Mary Hyman.
Carissa
I hope
Gazeri.
that, go ahead. I was hoping that was you because I got one file left and you
Just
were
one.
sitting there.
Lingering here watching. Yeah.
Your name?
Mary Heineman.
Okay. And how much is owing on her case?
$2,944.75.
All right. Where? Okay.
Unfortunately, Hawk has been doing the same thing. I spoke to them, or they emailed me last week saying that they were requesting the ledger from the Haven, and then I haven't heard since. I went to the Haven this week and asked them to send the ledger again. They did. So Caitlin from Hawk has been my point of contact, and I'm not sure exactly where they're at with it.
Oh boy. All right. Have you? What happened with your SER? It was denied?
That was denied, yeah, a couple times.
That's what I thought. Okay. And how much is your monthly rent?
40,
Pardon?
1640.
I show it 1671.
Oh,
1671. Okay. All right. So, oh boy. Just
If you're-
I'm ballparking here, but hang on just one second. But if I'm at 3 and that. Okay. Are you gonna be able to pay anything between now and then?
I can pay June rent. My mom's able to pay that
Okay, so, so when will you be able to pay that?
on today's the 30th. I mean, Monday or Tuesday, probably.
Of next week?
Yeah. For June rent, though.
No,
I'm here.
Okay, but what I'm doing is, I understand for you, it's June rent. I'm trying to get to a certain number.
Right, so it's not over 3,000.
Exactly.
I get that.
So you can pay 1671 by say.
Early next week. Yeah.
Pardon?
Early next week.
Okay.
The 5th.
So I'll put in here, I'm gonna trust you, 1671. I'm gonna say you need to pay that by the 5th. Okay,
Okay.
the earlier the better.
Okay.
All right, I'll adjourn your case out, then I'm gonna trust that you'll do it June 6, 2025 at 1 p.m.
Okay.
Okay, hopefully then,
I'll hear back.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, or even if you don't, part of the problem is I also don't have our court liaison officer
Right.
here to give information about what she might have, so.
Right. Okay.
Okay? Thank you for your
Thank you.
patience.
I'm a regular over at the Trial Watch Clips channel, where you go for clips of your favorite judges and your favorite attorneys and your favorite trials and your favorite cases.